installed on my truck really transforms the way it drives. I use my truck all day for work, and I drive in a lot of different environments. It's never let me down, but it didn't have that extra kick that I craved. The K&N intake gives my truck that extra edge in both performance and protection, and it sounds awesome when I step on the gas. Bottom line, with the K&N intake, my truck and I can handle any situation.
The ultimate adventure tool, with all the storage to hold even more adventure tools. The all-new, adventure-ready Bronco Sport.
Welcome to Ensenada, for those who are looking to expand their culinary horizons. A place where the adventures of the sky, valleys, and oceans come together. Ensenada, the capital of Mexican wine.
Welcome to the heart of the Southwest, the land of vibrant sunsets, cacti, and heat that can knock you right off your feet. And what better way to experience the heat of the Southwest than with ass-kicking hot sauce? Authentically made with the finest peppers and spices, our hot sauce packs a punch that'll take your taste buds on a wild ride. So whether you're a fan of spicy food or just looking to add some heat to your life, give our hot sauce a try. Ass-kicking hot sauce, the perfect way to heat things up. Have an ass-kicking day.
Go further. Explore the trails less traveled. And reach your destination quicker with King's new Mercedes Sprinter 2.5 OEM Performance Series kit. These 100% bolt-on kits feature front ride height adjustment, superior ride quality, and external finned reservoirs with wide-range compression adjusters to further refine your ride quality. See why we're the choice of experienced overlanders and order your Sprinter kit today.
It's time for the K&N Score Baja 400, presented by VP Racing Fuels. And now, exclusive Score merch. Don't miss your chance to experience this action-packed race. Visit the official Score merch booth for exclusive t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, stickers, and more.
Welcome to the heart of the Southwest, the land of vibrant sunsets, cacti, and heat that can knock you right off your feet. And what better way to experience the heat of the Southwest than with ass-kicking hot sauce? Authentically made with the finest peppers and spices, our hot sauce packs a punch that'll take your taste buds on a wild ride. So whether you're a fan of spicy food or just looking to add some heat to your life, give our hot sauce a try. Ass-kicking hot sauce, the perfect way to heat things up. Have an ass-kicking day.
You ain't seen nothing
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
At 10-4.
Yeah, return, dog.
Good, little driver. Straight on through.
The K&N intake in my truck is a real game changer. When I'm towing, I need all the power I can get. The K&N intake helps me get that extra performance when I need it most. More power. Throw to your engine growl. Proven engine protection. The first upgrade I make to any truck is a K&N intake.
Right, Daniel. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 2023 K&N Score Baja 400, presented by VP Racing Fuels. I am Austin Fish Farner, once again, joined by Nick Eisenhower here. We're bringing you guys a qualifying of this race today. This morning, we had the spec trophy trucks go. They all went. We only had one little accident, but everybody finished. And then now we are letting the trophy trucks go out and the trophy truck legends go on their sight lap, and we had a little bit of an issue.
Just a little bit of an issue.
A little bit. Somebody got a little bit too excited on their sight lap. This was a little bit ago. So there's a delay on the course right now, and that's why we haven't gone live yet, because this is what's going on right now. You can see this is one of our drones down there. This is a truck that got a little too crazy on the practice lap, which it happens, right?
It happens, yeah. You're trying to find your limits, trying to test out
Cameron.
the course.
Yeah. You got to find the limits, right? So hopefully, you can see that's the number 28. Hopefully they marked that well. It wasn't a time lap, so they'll be able to go back. As long as nothing's wrong with the truck, they can go still take their run, right?
Correct, yeah.
So that is Ryan Daniel. That's a newer name. I'm not too familiar with that entry. I haven't seen them in a race before that I can remember. So
it's
new guy.
Yeah, 28 looks like a Jimco chassis. Like Fish had said, new to us, to Fish and I. But a little hiccup here on the parade lap, on the sight lap. Better now than on your actual timed lap.
Yeah.
But it's going to take us a little minute to kind of get caught back up. We know we told you guys we'd be back at 12, but we're back at 12, but we got a couple minutes before we actually get to qualifying.
It's Baja, we go off Baja time. You never know what's going to happen, and this is what happens down in Baja. So everyone's okay though. You can see there's the co-driver and the driver right there walking around. So they got it tipped back over. It took them a little while. That thing's been upside down on its side for a while actually, because we heard about this a bit ago. So that's what happened earlier. But we do have times from earlier. I know when we signed off last time, we didn't have all of the times from the spec trucks. We do have them now, if you guys have already seen them. Here is the results earlier. So Abdali Lopez took that #1 spot by 3/10 of a second, just about. How close is that?
That's impressive.
That is very impressive. And then my pick was the #4 right there, Jordan Brenthal with Kyle Jurgensen driving. I thought he was going to do it, but he just came up 3 seconds short or so.
It's still a respectable time. I mean, 7 minutes, 11 seconds, that's pretty darn fast for a 5 1/4 mile lap.
Yeah.
These guys are just on the pipe. If you look at these top 10 guys, they're all so stacked up. Tons of very, very well-known names here. And, you know, at the end of the day on Saturday, like, any of these guys could end up on the top of the spot.
Yeah, look at how close it was. First and second were within 3/10 of a second, and then third and fourth were within 3/10 of a second too.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then from first to fourth is 3 seconds. First to fifth actually is just about 4 seconds between the top 5 cars. So really a couple of seconds, like we were talking about. If you stepped out a little bit, you didn't know if you were going right or left at that first Y, that cost you a second.
Yep.
I don't know if any of these guys had that problem, but if it did, you can see how much of a detriment that is to your starting spot today.
Yeah, it's like we talked about it in the earlier broadcast. It's like any type of little hesitation, any sort of anything is just going to stack time on your time and unfortunately set you further back. Now, as important as qualifying is, it still is a 400-mile race in the middle of the desert. Anything can happen. We've seen it 100 times that somebody who maybe qualifies, you know, half pack or back, works their way up to the front and gets a good win. Anything could really happen when it comes to the sport of off-road racing. So, you know, maybe not qualifying the best isn't the end of your day. You definitely want to still stick to your game plan of your race, and you still got tons and tons of racing to do.
Exactly. And just to let you guys know what we're going to do, they just have resumed the practice lap. So we have about 15 cars or so that are still going to go out on their practice lap. So we're going to let those cars go out on the practice lap. We're going to go to commercial, and then we're going to come back. So stay tuned. Stay tuned into us here. As soon as these are done with their practice laps, we will come back. We promise you won't miss any timed qualifying. And we'll be back in just a little bit after that slight delay.
Yep. Cool. Thanks, guys.
You won't believe what a K&N intake will do for your truck. I thought a cold air intake would just make my truck sound better, but I installed a K&N intake. And now I can feel the power as soon as I hit the gas. It was such a simple upgrade, but it has totally transformed my truck. And now, I'll never own a truck without a K&N intake. You've got to experience it for yourself. Get one for your truck at knfilters.com.
Go further. Explore the trails less traveled. And reach your destination quicker with King's new Toyota Sequoia 2.5 OEM Performance Series kit. These 100% bolt-on kits feature front ride height adjustment, superior ride quality, and external finned reservoirs with optional wide-range compression adjusters to further refine your ride quality. See why we're the choice of experienced overlanders and order your Sequoia kit today.
Single-digit temperatures. A couple of inches of snow on the ground already. And more predicted as the day goes on. In other words, conditions are perfect for the all-new Bronco Sport.
Hey, Dad.
What are you up to, bud?
Oh, nothing much. I think it's time I bought a new lawnmower, though.
Did you try and fix it yourself? Fix it yourself? Fix it yourself?
Whoa. Don't touch. Hand me those pliers, would you?
Hold that still. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get some Fix-It fuel instead.
Fix-It fuel. Do it yourself. The easy way.
Hey, does that stuff really work?
Yep. Don't touch.
It's time for the K&N Score Baja 400, presented by VP Racing Fuels. And now, exclusive Score merch. Don't miss your chance to experience this action-packed race. Visit the official Score merch booth for exclusive t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, stickers, and more.
Welcome to the heart of the Southwest, the land of vibrant sunsets, cacti, and heat that can knock you right off your feet. And what better way to experience the heat of the Southwest than with ass-kicking hot sauce? Authentically made with the finest peppers and spices, our hot sauce packs a punch that'll take your taste buds on a wild ride. So whether you're a fan of spicy food or just looking to add some heat to your life, give our hot sauce a try. Ass-kicking hot sauce, the perfect way to heat things up. Have an ass-kicking day.
Welcome to Baja, California. Our unique blend of cultures, cuisines, and historical influences create surprising combinations and unexpected delights around every corner. We welcome you with the most revolutionary cuisine in Mexico, complete with a sky full of magical sunsets. Welcome to the million-star hotels. If you're looking for something astonishing, we hold the most important wine regions in all of Mexico, next to the best tacos in the world. Welcome to our own revolutionary and delicious version of Chinese food. Here, the sublimely unexpected is our norm. It's our pleasure to welcome you to our beautiful state, Baja California, where everyone is always welcome.
The ultimate adventure tool, with all the storage to hold even more adventure tools. The all-new, adventure-ready Bronco Sport.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
At 10-4.
Yeah, return, dog.
Good, little driver. Straight on through.
make your days count. Create new stories. Keep track of your pack. Go after adventure. Go crawl every rock. Conquer your playground. Explore every route. Go further. Go faster. Don't ever miss out.
Intake I installed on my truck really transforms the way it drives. I use my truck all day for work, and I drive in a lot of different environments. It's never let me down, but it didn't have that extra kick that I craved. The K&N Intake gives my truck that extra edge in both performance and protection, and it sounds awesome when I step on the gas. Bottom line, with the K&N Intake, my truck and I can handle any situation.
I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
At 10-4.
Yeah, for sure, dog.
Good, little driver. Straight on through.
Welcome to Ensenada. For those who are looking to expand their culinary horizons, a place where the adventures of the sky, valleys, and oceans come together. Ensenada, the capital of Mexican wine.
The finishing touches of any off-road vehicle are the things you add to make it your own. That's why we've developed a full collection of over 70 Polaris-engineered accessories specifically designed for Pro R. Created in partnership with some of the biggest names in the off-road aftermarket, there are custom wheels and tires, full aluminum doors, steel rock sliders, stylized mirrors and bumpers, innovative storage solutions, Rockford Fosgate premium audio upgrades, and even a high-visibility rigid chase light to help groups stay together. 3 distinct collections, Dune, Desert, and Rugged Trail, help organize all the choices so it's easy to find exactly what you want. Every single accessory was developed in parallel with the vehicle itself, so the look is seamless and installation is easy. Polaris. Think outside.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are here once again with the 2023 K&N Score Baja 400 presented by VP Racing. And extra special thanks to BF Goodrich Tires for bringing this live stream to you guys today. I am Austin Fish Farner. Once again, this is Nick Eisenhower. We are bringing you guys the qualifying all day today. We had the spec truck qualifying that happened earlier. We got the trophy trucks out right now on their sight lap. There's about 4 or 5 trophy trucks left to go. We're down to the Legends right now. So they're going to finish up their sight lap. They're going to re-rack everybody, and then they're going to head out on their timed lap. We do have a look earlier. Here's the leaderboard from the trophy truck specs. So Abdali Lopez was your leader, or was your fast time of the group earlier.
Very fast time, actually. 7 minutes, 8 seconds, and like you said, 3/10 off of Jason McNeil.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
Very good racing there between the top, 5 or within 4 seconds of each other. You got Ryan Hancock there at 5. You got Pat Sims, Travis Williams, Elijah Kiger with Justin Davis driving, Mason Cullen, Jack Grabowski. A lot of big names in the top 10. This is a stacked field, and, going to battle for almost 400 miles. I don't know. You could really pick any of those guys, but those first couple have a little bit of an advantage because the race is short. There's not a lot of time for those guys in the back a little bit to make passes and try to get out of the dust and make up time. Really.
Correct. Yeah, I think a 400-mile race, you're looking at what, maybe 6 hours, 7 hours to complete the whole thing. It's not that long of a day on the racetrack to try and make up all that time.
Yeah, exactly. We do have a couple clips from earlier. So here's a look back at earlier. We got a couple clips we'll show you guys from the spec qualifying earlier while we're waiting for the trophy trucks to start. So this is 5 minutes. All right, so that was a look at some of our spec truck qualifying from earlier. So our fastest qualifier out of that group, like we said, was Abdali Lopez. He did it in 7 minutes and 8 seconds.
Yes.
So very, very, very fast. We do actually have a clip of his whole run, so I think we're going to play that for you guys now. So here's Abdali off the line.
Yeah, no stranger to speed. Obviously, has held that #1 plate in the unlimited truck. So him running in a spec truck has got to be, a real fun pace for him to run these trucks at.
Yeah, and you can tell this was a corner where we did have a rollover right there. One car rolled up on its side. Abdali came through there pretty good, looking pretty good. Held a lot of speed. Obviously, he held the most speed out of everybody on the course.
Yeah.
So this is going to be your fast run of the day. You can see throwing up a roost there. This corner is pretty tough, too. It's kind of a blind corner over a little rise. So I thought we were going to have somebody off the side there. We still might.
Yep.
We just didn't in the specs, but we might later. But Abdali had no problem there.
Yeah, and if you watch a lot of Abdali's run here, you'll see him using the edges of the berm and really hanging it out there, which is what it takes to get that top spot in qualifying.
Yeah.
It's a little risky. We did see a few guys with some flat tires and with losing brakes and such, but, it worked out for Abdali right there. It was a great run, smooth, no issues. Sometimes hanging it out pays off.
And he did go second to last. So remember we were talking earlier about how much the berms get built up as the run goes on, and it's kind of a disadvantage to go earlier than later, especially in the spec trucks where the course wasn't chewed up yet. Now that the trophy trucks are going to go, the course is already chewed up. All the specs already went. All the trophy trucks already went. The berms are built up, so it's not that big of a deal. We have Bryce Menzies, who's going to be your first car on the line, and we're just waiting for him to go off. Probably within the next couple minutes. You can see there he is right there.
Yeah.
So probably within about 3 minutes or so, we're thinking 12:50 is when Bryce Menzies is going to be off the line. So that'll be our first trophy truck off the line in a little bit, about 3 minutes.
Which will be nice, too, because, with Bryce, he's no stranger to setting fast lap times and qualifying well, so he will set a pretty good example as to what the lap time should be.
Yeah.
We're not going to have to kind of, second guess and wonder, hey, I wonder where these laps are going to sit at. We can watch Bryce here make a run, and we know it's going to be right there in that top 5.
Exactly. And now Bryce and Andy McMillan have once again teamed up for the Baja 1000. So Bryce Menzies, if you guys don't know, he has a couple of these trucks, actually. He has two of the exact same truck. They're both Mason all-wheel drive trucks. He uses the other one for pre-running, and then they'll swap them out, and they'll race one truck one race, race another truck another race. So he actually called up Andy, who kind of semi-retired or stopped driving his own truck, sold his truck to Paul Wheel, who we'll see today also with Toby Price. Bryce called up Andy and said, hey, why don't you come drive my second truck at this race so we get a good starting spot for the 400. Hopefully between the two of us, at least one of us has a good race at the 400 and get a good starting spot. So Andy's going to see Bryce go off first, right? So it's a little bit of an advantage for Andy will have, because he knows if Bryce goes out there and Bryce comes back and he's like, hey, I did a perfect run, like that run was good, you can go for it too.
Yeah.
Then Andy will try and turn it up a bit and go for it. Whereas if Bryce goes right now and he has any kind of issue or anything, Andy's going to turn his run down just a little bit probably, because he knows they're going to need a good run if Bryce doesn't get one here.
Absolutely. Just doubling the odds, just really getting your, guaranteeing you get a good spot to start for Saturday's race. And then with running both trucks on Saturday, it's an even same thing, just doubling your odds to hope you get a great start for the Baja 1000.
Exactly. Yeah, I would suspect whichever one of the two of them finishes higher today is going to be the one that's going to go for it on Saturday, and then the other one will kind of follow along and see how the race is going and play it by ear from there. So kind of a cool strategy, and there is a few teams that are doing that today. We know that Luke McMillan and Rob McCachran are racing together at the Baja 1000. They're both entered today in their separate trucks. So Luke's in the all-wheel drive. Rob's in the older two-wheel drive Geyser that just keeps going along. Rob's won more races in that truck than anybody else has in any truck probably. So Rob's going to be going today. So him and Luke are both qualifying. We have a couple other people that are both doing the same thing, right? Polvardi?
Yeah, we have Christopher Polvardi and Walser. They're doing the whole same thing too. Polvardi is actually racing in his spec truck in unlimited truck. So
yeah, right there, the second truck off the line, right?
Yeah, so his time, you don't be super shocked by it. I mean, he might land himself in the top 10 still, but with that spec motor, I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit off of the pace.
Or did he put a big motor in?
Oh, who knows? Maybe maybe a churched up motor in there. We'll see what happens
who knows? Andrew Myers, he's been fast lately. He's going to be third off the line. Then we have Dave Taylor's going to be fourth. Dan Myers. So Andrew Myers and Dan Myers both related.
Yep,
right. Absolutely. They probably have a side bet going on also between the two of them. Then we have Tim Herbst, which is actually going to be James Dean driving that truck today. So James Dean sitting in there. Then we have Andy McMillan, like we talked about a minute ago. Tracy Graff, Ellen Impudia, and Larry Rossler.
Yeah, a bunch of names up there that say, like we've talked before, have the potential to win this race and win this qualifier and see where they stack up top. It's just, at this point, it's anybody's run. We'll see how it lays out.
And that's only the top 10. There is many more going today. I think we have, what did we say? We have 28 trophy trucks and 9 trophy truck legends. Yeah. And here we go. Here's the first car off the line, Bryce Menzies. That is your first qualifier. And he's off the line. That guy's stoked. See?
Yeah,
everybody's
super stoked.
Right?
I'd be stoked if I was that guy too, just hanging out.
How can you be in Baja and have a trophy truck come by you and not be stoked, right?
Like just hanging out.
This is what everybody goes to Baja to watch right here.
To watch the Unlimiteds.
Yeah, we go to watch the Unlimiteds. We go to watch Bryce Menzies, Robbie Gordon. Unfortunately, Robbie Gordon, we did know, is not going to come today after all.
Yeah.
So people don't have to ask where Robbie is all day. He's not going to be there.
Yeah.
So there's a look at Bryce with one of our 2 drone shots that we have today. He is going slow here.
Yeah.
Did he have an issue already?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so what's going on here? This is a bit of a development.
It's picking back up a little bit.
He picked it back up there. I wonder if he's having a shifting issue
possibly. There it goes. Now he's back on pace.
Wow, okay, so we see something's going on with Bryce. At least for a little bit there, he was going slow, huh?
And again, perfect example why you want to have 2 of these things.
Right? So now, Andy, I guarantee you Andy's probably watching this right now.
Oh, for sure.
Andy's talking to him on the radio. You can hear what he's saying on the radio. So he might do something a little different.
I don't know.
How the rest of this goes.
It's not too far off pace through here, I wouldn't think. But yeah, he definitely started off not on the pipe.
Yeah, something was weird off the start, it looked like. Looks like he's going again now, okay.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to get his radio preset set.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Didn't have the right station on?
Wasn't on 91X. He wasn't ready to go yet.
That is Orrin Anderson that rides with Bryce, one of the fastest co-drivers out there when it comes to changing tires. The dude can change a tire in like 40-something seconds. It's insane how fast he is.
It makes the rest of us look really bad.
Right? Like he could literally he could do one today and they'd probably still have a top 10 time if he needed to. Like, it's insane. But hopefully hopefully he doesn't have to get out today because that's not what you want to do on this.
Not. So
Bryce looking good. Now, there's something going on earlier. And now these trucks do, they are you can shift gears in these trucks, right?
Correct.
It's not a old school turbo 400. They have 5-6 speeds in these trucks, and you are shifting. I know it uses like air pressure to shift.
Correct.
Sometimes the compressor can have a little bit of an issue, or you might lose air pressure for a second. You can't shift. It kind of almost looked like that's maybe what was going on earlier.
Potentially,
it's hard to speculate, but something was definitely going on at the beginning of the run.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to these trucks. You got to think everything from shifting to the shocks themselves to the drivetrain, everything involved, and it's all got to sync perfectly for these things to have a good running day. So yeah, any little thing could have caused some sort of little issue at the beginning, which I'm sure we'll find out later.
Yep, yeah, we'll find out eventually.
But it looks like he's back on it again, so hopefully he can salvage some kind of a run here and, not leave too much stress on Andy.
Yeah, looking pretty good. So this is a Mason all-wheel drive truck. Like we said a few times, there's a lot of these trucks out there now. A lot of the top guys are all in these all-wheel drives. You see out of the corners, they just pull so much faster out of the corners that your speed from corner to corner is so much higher than a two-wheel drive. You don't really see them throwing it around as much either.
Exactly. Yeah, here's our second qualifier, Christopher Pravardi in the 91. So that is the spec truck there. That is not the all-wheel drive truck. So that will have, we're assuming the LS3, the smaller engine.
Yeah.
And he's doing the same thing, just trying to ensure a good finishing position at the 400 to get him for a good start at the 1000 with Walser.
Exactly. And he said he is going to be starting that truck that he's qualifying, obviously, and then he's going to get out and he's going to go get in the Mike Walser entry to do the second half so he can get some seat time in the all-wheel drive.
A lot of logistics.
So, yeah, a lot of logistics going on. He's going to have to get out. They're going to have to get in the chase truck, try to get ahead of the other trophy truck.
To get in it,
To get in, yeah. So,
which is, in a loop race, it is doable if you find a crossover or what have you. So
yeah.
Definitely something doable. And it's a cool strategy. It gets him seat time in that all-wheel drive truck. And, maybe depending on where they stack up with qualifying, you might get a better finish here for the 400.
Definitely. So that's a look at Bryce. He should be coming to the about 3/4 of the way through by now. They go every 3 minutes is what they were doing earlier. I assume they're going to do about the same for the trophy trucks, every 3-minute split. So nobody should really be in anybody's dust today. If you're making up 3 minutes on somebody in front of you in trophy truck, that's quite a bit on a 5-mile lap, right? That shouldn't really happen.
The guy ahead of you probably made a pretty solid mistake if you're catching that guy.
And if we do have that happen, like we did earlier, if somebody has a rollover or they break or they get stuck on course or something and the next guy coming along catches up to them, they will get a restart.
Correct.
So if it affects anybody's time, the person in front of them, the person who's affected by it will get to run again.
Exactly.
So it keeps it fair for everybody.
Yeah. Not so fair for the guy going slow, but
whatever. No, yeah. But that was his own fault that he was going slow, right? So there's Pravardi coming around that tight turn. kind of whipping it around there.
Yeah, and if you were paying attention, if you watch how Menzies came out of that corner and just, looked like he was gripping up on asphalt and taking off, you'll see the difference here with a two-wheel drive truck spinning the tires, trying to get it moving. Still no slouch, though. He's on the pipe there, going quick. And if Bryce, had issues, this might be one of the only times you'll see a spec truck out-qualify a Mason all-wheel drive.
We might in a minute. We'll find out, right? There's still a lot of course, though, with a lot of turns, so I don't know. We'll have to see. But, these trucks, they look like they're going faster a lot of times, and the all-wheel drives almost look slower because they're not sliding, they're not spinning, they're not throwing up as much roost. But then if you look at the time, it's actually quicker. It just looks slower while we're watching it, right? This is more impressive to watch, because it looks like they're out of control and like getting crazy, but they're actually not going quite as fast.
Exactly. It's the old NASCAR effect. You watch NASCAR on Saturday or Sunday, and you watch the cars go around on the camera, like they're not even doing anything crazy, but if you stand still and watch that car go flying past you, holy smokes, is it going quick.
Does he have a left rear flat?
Yep. Well,
that left rear looks a little bit weird, maybe. It's hard to tell on the drone angle.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a lot of dust coming off the left rear, too, compared to the right. Might get us another shot in a second.
He might be okay.
Yeah, definitely hard to tell sometimes with the drone shots.
You're just trying to put bad juju on people.
It was seeing a lot of dust there. It looked a little wobbly. So here we go. Here's Andrew Myers off the line, the Toyota Escondido entry. So that's going to be our third truck off the line. And that is Andrew Myers driving according to our list. Once again, everything we say here today is very unofficial.
Yes.
And we are semi-informed, but something can change, right? Somebody might have decided not to drive at the last second. They threw someone else in the truck.
Sure.
So we can only go off the information we have.
Don't trust anything fishing, I say 100%, ever.
Did you see that? It looked like they put a marker there.
For
which
that
way
corner?
to go. Yeah, I did not see that marker earlier today. Either I missed it or they added a marker there possibly at some point. Once again, another two-wheel drive truck here, so you'll see them throwing it in the corners a little bit more.
Nice solid run through there. Nice and composed. That's the thing, too. Obviously, if you weren't tuned in earlier, we talked a lot about the course and how much big boulders and day enders there are on the sides of these tracks and how important it's going to be, especially this qualifier, specifically to stay on the track and to stay in the two-track and keep the truck in the groove and moving forward. So as much as you want to hang it out and get crazy for the photogs, you want to make sure you're composed and you keep your tires under yourself and you keep the truck moving straight.
All right, so that is our third truck to go out. Next, we're going to be on the line is going to be Dave Taylor, and that is going to be Ryan Pullman driving that truck. But right here, we're looking at Andrew Myers.
Yep.
And there you go. There's the Pullman truck, the number 26, once again prepped by John Hoffman.
Yeah. Good thing it's not snowing, or else we won't be able to see it.
Right? Well, is there a truck there? I can't really see it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a red line there on the truck.
But
so that's going to be our next truck off the line. And once we start getting times for you guys, we will let you guys know the times. They're still working on getting us the times at the finish. And then we'll be good to go with some times. We expect them to be, what were we thinking, maybe a minute faster, not quite a minute, something like that.
Okay, that's why we're not starting the truck yet. We got trucks in weird spots here.
Yeah. Probably maybe a minute faster. We're going to see. They got more horsepower. They got all-wheel drive. So definitely potential to be faster, especially on this course. It is only 5 miles long, though, so not a lot of time to be that much faster, but we'll see.
Yeah, on a short little run like this, it's a sprint. You're only getting up to pretty mellow top speeds. You're not being absolutely insane like you would do on an actual desert course. So, yeah, the times might be pretty close, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see once we get some correct times here at the finish.
Caution.
There's Myers again. Still got all the body panels on. That's a good thing. Running good and smooth. Gosh, look at that thing go. Now, I do believe that has one of those jokes. Those things are wild.
Yeah, those are definitely, you have plenty of power.
Plenty.
It's just, can you get it to the ground and can you keep all the parts alive with it, right?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Got plenty of RPMs, that's for darn sure.
Yeah.
So here's one of our favorite sections to watch. We got Pulvardi coming through here. So he's going to run up here. He's going to make a big U-turn, and then there's a big old, kind of a step down into a G out across the finish line. So if the camera stays here on Pulvardi here, it'll be exciting to watch. Or maybe it won't.
Or maybe it'll go back the other way. That looks like it's Pullman there.
Yeah.
In the 26,
Stepping
sliding it around.
bit.
Oh, getting a little sideways.
Yep. You got to think so. as much as we're comparing these to the spec trucks, you got to think they're carrying a much higher mile per hour into these corners.
Yes,
so, you know,
correct.
we'll see them kind of locking them up, sliding it in a little sideways to kind of gather up their speed before they make the corners, whereas the spec trucks can almost slow down in a straight line, go-kart style.
Yeah.
So,
and the weight difference is more on these too. These do definitely weigh a little bit more than a lot of the spec trucks do.
They do weigh a touch more.
So coming around, that is Ryan Pullman there. As soon as we get some times for Bryce Menzies and Christopher Polvardi, we will let you guys know. Once again, this is a 5.29 mile qualifier today.
Yeah, and this course itself, very similar to what the race course I would assume would be like. You know, through the mountains, through the canyons, up and around. No big, long, wild straightaways. You know, it kind of keeps these guys pretty true to what they're doing.
Whoa, look at that. Getting off the tree there, right? Yeah. Getting a little wild on that. Was that Pullman again there?
Getting crazy.
Whoa, he's going for it,
That's trophy truck things, man. Just hold it floored, see what happens.
Just go, right? Just go, try to keep it straight, go for it, try to get a good qualifying time. You got tomorrow, your mechanic can fix the car tomorrow for you if you break something today. As long as you don't wad it up too bad, right?
Yes, correct. But yeah, you know, this is a very good qualifying course, I would say. Like, nice, tight technical, keeps you true to the vehicle. You know, you're not going to, like, it's not a horsepower battle and it's not a shock battle. Yeah. It's a little bit of balance of everything. You got to be able to keep the thing composed. You got to be able to drive it nice and smooth and try and make up as much time as possible. You got to risk when you got to risk, and you got to reel it in when you got to reel it in.
All right, so here's that corner.
Fish is putting bad juju on people. He's hoping.
I'm just waiting for that corner. It looks like a rough one, you know. It's sharp. It's blind. It's sharp. Definitely interesting.
I know. If it was me on my parade lap, I'd for sure mark that big time.
Right? Yeah. You got to check up for that corner. You definitely do. And it's probably a lot more of a cliff than what we're seeing from up here on the drone too. You know. Yeah. So here goes Dan Myers, another one of the Toyota Escondido entries. This is a Brenthal truck. 6.
Whoa. We got all the
Pullman
Myers
again, right?
No, I think that's Myers there.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Myers, okay.
Yeah, that's Myers.
Yeah, he's
known
got the
to be
orange
wild.
on the bottom.
Yep. You got to think, too, maybe you and I have just used to been watching the spec trucks for the last couple hours, and now we're watching trophy trucks go, and we might think they're getting crazy, but that might just be the pace.
Maybe they're all going to be like that. They're all just crazy.
One could only hope.
Yeah. It makes for good viewing. Everybody likes watching it when it's like that. That's a pretty good jump right there. See, some of the spec trucks were launching that, though.
Big time.
They were launching it.
Well, he's getting on it. Drone can't even keep up.
Yeah.
All the photogs down there, a little wind change. I think everybody was set up on the wrong side earlier.
Fly with caution.
All right, so that's a look at Dan Myers right there, the number 6. Brenthal coming along.
Fly with caution.
Calm, cool, collected. Nice, smooth run. Maybe that big Gibbs motor is hurting him a little bit more than it's helping him through stuff like this.
Well, does that one have it, or does the other truck has it?
The Herbst truck has it.
The Herbst truck has it.
That's what I'm saying. You're getting all loose.
Yeah. See, once again, this looks slower, right?
Yeah.
But it might not actually be slower when you look at the times, but we don't have any times yet.
Yeah, if we could get some times, we'd be in good shape.
Yeah. That is Luke Johnson driving the number 6, actually, right there for Dan Myers. So, yeah, Luke Johnson. So far, everybody else has been the person that's listed so far. So that's the first one that's a different one than the driver of record. So Luke Johnson in there. Yeah. So the next truck is going to be another one. It's Tim Herbst as the driver of record. It's going to be James Dean driving the next truck that we see, the number 19 that's on the line now.
Yeah, and we saw his brother earlier in a spec truck having some brake issues, and the other Herbst truck running it in.
Yeah.
Is what we found. We were watching him go around, coming towards the finish line, and he was on a sick one. And we saw him kind of slow his pace up quite a bit coming into the end. There's a big kind of drop off to G out.
Yep.
And we were kind of wondering where it happened, and he sent us both a message letting us know that he had lost the brakes coming in. So that would explain the slow in his roll there. But it's very cool to see all the Deans out there racing, doing good. A couple Nevada boys, doing their thing.
So that is Luke Johnson there once again in the 6th coming around. So Bryce Menzies has finished so far. Christopher Polvardi has finished, and Andrew Myers has finished. We're just waiting to get their times so we can tell you guys some times. Once again, if you weren't watching earlier, this is a 5-mile course out in the Ojos area. It is very similar to what the start of the race is because it goes through the same area basically. So it's a good chance to see what the start's going to look like tomorrow. It really stacks everybody up in the correct position. Here's the Tim Herbst truck we talked about with James Dean actually driving it. So James Dean behind the wheel, another Dean kid family.
Yeah.
They had a couple of them out here today.
Yep. Yeah, I believe, yeah. We got Pat Dean, James Dean, and Jordan Dean. So a whole gang of them. But beautiful scenery out here. Whether you're racing in a car, spectating, hanging out, pretty nice looking out there.
Yeah, definitely looks like a nice day. The dust is not a factor. You can see it's blowing off the course well ahead of the second truck coming. There's no dust in front of any of these trucks we can see, so that's always good.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to have a super dusty qualifier where everybody's complaining because they couldn't see or something like that. So
racing in a tunnel.
No excuses today. It's all on you. If you blow a corner, you do something stupid, that is your own fault today, that's for sure. So it looks like that's Luke Johnson there in the 6th still.
Yep. Still got all the body panels on and all the tires on them. We're looking good.
See a few more spectators out on the course now. Probably made their way out later in the day.
A little post-lunch hangout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's really hard to tell who's fastest so far through these sections without seeing the times. It's really hard.
Everybody looks nice and clean and smooth in their own perspectives. You know, each truck has its strong suits.
Oh, I thought it was a corner.
Yeah, you thought it went left, huh?
Yeah.
I kind of did too.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, it's a little chicane, a little joggle, if you will.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Here's Bryce Menzies' second truck being driven by Andy McMillan. Actually, very similar look to what Andy McMillan's last truck that he drove looked like because it was the same truck and with a lot of the same sponsors.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
So it lines up well. So we'll see what Andy can do. We thought that Bryce had a little bit of an issue, it looked like. We could be wrong, but it did look like he was a little slow off the start at one spot, messing with something, and then he got going again.
Yeah, it looked a little sluggish going off the start line there, but it looked like he turned it back on after that. So
definitely.
Still waiting on times here. Be curious to see where everybody's stacking up.
Yeah, I have no idea on the times that are not coming through right now. So hopefully we'll get those fixed soon and be able to tell you guys some times.
Yeah, and like we've mentioned before, we're here in San Diego in the studio reporting on this through TV screens, and we've got everybody down south sending us all the info. So sometimes there's a little bit of a break in communication. It takes us minutes to get what we need, but we're getting there.
Here's one of the Herbst trucks. Another one. They all look the same, right?
They're
Even
all
the
the
spec
same.
and the trophy truck all look the same.
It's good for advertising purposes. You only got to make one T-shirt. So this should be James Dean here driving. You know, he's got a very strong dune buggy background. We were talking earlier. I think they've been racing the same Bunderson car for like 30-something years.
Yeah.
But always a contender, always up there running quick. We cross paths a lot out there, a lot of stateside races with us in the spec truck and him in the one car. We always end up on top of each other.
Here we go. Andy McMillan off the line, number 31. His first race back this year. Missed the season so far. He sold his truck to Paul Wheel, who will see his old truck a little bit later today with Toby Price qualifying it.
Yep.
Cut some air right there. Is looking pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Looking fast off of that.
Always consistent.
So this next section around this corner is where we saw Bryce going a little slow. So let's see if Andy looks a little slow.
Fly with caution.
No, well,
let's see. He definitely looks faster.
Faster, yep.
Yeah, Bryce had something going on right there. It is a little slow right here, but
no, not as.
Yeah, he was going a little slower than that. So Andy has Brady Thompson riding with him, one of his old co-drivers from back in the day. Hasn't had him in the right seat with him for a while.
Right.
They won a lot of races together back in the day, though, so probably won't take much time for them to get used to working with each other again in the car.
Yeah, get right back in the groove of things, just like nothing ever happened. So. And you'll see, too, a lot when you look at the all-wheel drive trucks come around the corners. We talked about how more like composed they are in the sections and all that. You'll see that they steer the trucks with the front tires, which I know it sounds, counterintuitive because like normally you have to steer a car with your front tires. But with those front tires spinning and biting, you can actually keep it steered in and not try and drive the back of the truck because the front tires are biting and digging. And so you'll see them come around these corners where traditionally you'd be hanging the rear of the truck out and staying on the gas and counter steering. In the all-wheel drive trucks, it's just like a rally car. You can keep the steering wheel turned in, stay on the gas, and keep digging around that
You're
corner.
going to see that right here. Watch this hairpin 180 right here. The back's not going to be coming around as much as it was on like Polvardi's truck. You can see it kind of just goes in and then you hit the gas. Look at how far inside the corner he is compared to Polvardi was all the way out on that corner with the rear end, right?
Yeah, so you're not making big highlight reel turns. You're not dirt exploding like Sean Kroll, but you're sticking in there. You're making the turn. You're in and you're out, just like a rally car.
Yeah, definitely. So, it doesn't look as fast, but that was way faster through that corner.
Exactly.
And that's the big advantage for the all-wheel drive truck is corner to corner. On the straightaway, they're actually not as fast sometimes.
True.
You know, some of the two-wheel drives actually have a higher top speed on a long straightaway, but how many straightaways are there really in desert racing? There's not that much. There's a lot of corners. You know, a lot of this. Like just the time from that corner to that corner, if you're a millisecond faster here and there, and then you add that up for 400, 1,000 miles, that's a big difference.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's something that I learned early on is that it's trying to find the average of everything. You don't want to build a car that's the best at one thing. You don't want the fastest straight line car. You don't want the fastest turning car. You don't want the fastest whoop car. You want something that does all three of them pretty darn well. And you want to find that average of the race course and try and be the best you can at all three of those things. So I believe that these all-wheel drive Mason cars have kind of almost hit the nail on the head with that because they will run through the big holes. They still make a good top speed, but I think they're just trumping everybody around the corners these days, which is a huge advantage. Up next here, we got Tracy Graff. Nice old racer truck here. Tons of seat time, tons of Mexico experience, tons of racing. Just looking for that clean day of racing to land him up top. This is a truck that's prepped by Justin Bean Smith out of Las Vegas, another legend in the off-road world. Bean's got a great track record of driving cars as well as prepping cars. I think he may have been the first overall in a spec truck in a desert race.
Could be.
Yeah, Justin Bean did at the Legacy race recently.
There you go.
Yeah, so I think he was the first one. I don't think he wanted to claim it, but I'll claim it.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to claim it when there's not a lot of people there.
Yeah, but it's still a race. There's two all-wheel drives, and he beat him.
That ain't going to happen here.
No, not here. Not here, not at all. But, yeah, so Tracy Graff qualifying, I'm sure he's...
hit the corner there and got a little sideways. Kicked the drone off the air, too, for a second, it looked like.
Pretty standard Graff stuff. I'm sure him and Bean are sharing driving duties through this one, and
I
would assume same thing with the 1,000.
And that is Tracy in there right now. I did ask Bean who was qualifying. He said Tracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at the 1,000, most people will do two drivers. Some of them will do three also. So it's not, you know, especially this year, the Baja 1000 is probably going to be closer to 1,300 miles, actually.
Yeah.
You know, between 12 and 1,300 miles. So that's, you know, a 400-mile section between three drivers. Or you do like a 600-mile section between two, that's a long section, you know, 600 miles.
Long day.
So that is a long day.
That's 8 hours in the truck, roughly,
if
you really think about it. That's a very long day.
And when you're going for the overall, like these guys are, you really have to be pushing the whole time if you're trying to win. You know, if you're just trying to finish, you can cruise and you can back down a little bit and there take a break or whatever, you know. But when you're trying to win, you have to be going full speed the whole time, or the other guy's gonna.
Yeah.
So let's see how he does around the corner. This is a two-wheel drive. We're going to definitely see it a lot. The rear end come around a lot more. He's going to be on the outside. You can see that's actually pretty good cornering right there. That wasn't bad at all for two-wheel drive.
You got to keep it mellow. Got to make the traction.
Does look like it's stepping out on him every once in a while, though, huh?
I think it might be some of this terrain. You know, it's hard to tell with the drone, but I'm assuming they're on a little bit of an incline, like a sideways incline. And if you see there, he's kind of drifting towards the driver's side of the truck a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that little downhill is probably putting you have to put a little bit of steering in.
Oh, he has a flat right rear.
You've been saying that all morning.
I'm pretty sure.
Let's see.
Is it?
I don't know.
Let's see.
No, he's good.
Are you sure?
I think it's the
It looks like these are all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Looks
it's
weird.
the camera, I think.
It's a drone angle, okay. All right, we'll see.
Yeah, we're still waiting on some times. Hopefully we can get those going soon so we can get you guys a little update as to what's going on.
Yeah.
But until then, we get to watch some cool trophy trucks go ripping around the racetrack.
We get to see more cars go off the line. Alan Impudia is next. So this is a little something different. So Alan Impudia has the last year or maybe two has driven with Tavo Vadosola at the Baja 1000. This year they are not teaming up, I don't believe. They're each racing their own truck, is what I was told. So going to be a little bit different. They're not racing together this year. So Alan Impudia in his all-wheel drive Mason recently acquired this season, or at the end of last year, but started racing this year. So newer truck to him. Once again, another all-wheel drive.
Fast family.
Very fast.
Yeah, another fast family in the desert.
He could very easily set the fastest qualifying time today, and nobody would be surprised, that's for sure. right, so that's a look at Ampudia right there, I believe, towards the start, coming around, little windy section. He's looking pretty fast through there, right? That was faster than Andy looked through there even, too.
Yep.
He's a little bit crazier. He's a little crazier driver,
Just
though,
a
right?
touch.
Just a little bit crazy.
I think we've all seen the highlight reels of these guys getting crazy in these trucks.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Anybody with Ampudia in the last name is a little bit nuts and very fast.
Yeah, anything from desert to short course, side-by-sides, anything, those guys are nuts.
Very the definition of checkers or wreckers with these guys, right?
Very much so.
So looking pretty good coming around here.
Absolutely.
He actually has a new co-driver this race too. So it is Kyle Kraft is co-driving with him. So BJ Baldwin's normal co-driver is in here riding with Alan. I saw that. So something a little different, new co-driver.
Yeah, no, the importance of a co-driver, it's huge when it comes to desert racing. It's not just the guy who's holding down the passenger seat and, just your buddy to tell stories with. That person's calling you every single corner of this desert race. He's trying to keep you, in check as a driver and as a team and keep everybody, up on pace. They're in charge of keeping track of all the time splits with the guys in the pits. They're your head mechanic. They check all the vitals. Being the co-driver is probably more work than driving the actual truck.
Oh, for sure.
As a driver, your job is 2 pedals and a steering wheel and a shifter. In the passenger seat, you got to juggle everything.
Yeah.
So it's definitely very important when it comes to picking co-drivers as to who you're going to have sitting over there to help get you to the finish line as fast as possible.
Definitely, and you're literally relying on them for everything through the race.
Exactly.
You're just driving. Unless you're Rob McCachran, then he uses lead nav for his co-driver, and it doesn't really matter who's sitting with Rob because he's listening to the lead nav in his ear that's telling him about the course.
Well, that's Rob. Yeah, you can't compare anything to Rob McCachran. That guy's a living legend. Nobody will ever compare to that man.
And Rob will be going a little bit later here today. We're a few cars away from him still. So we got Alan Ampudia going right now. Now Larry Rossler, one of the old Mr. Baja. There's that corner again, right?
Yeah.
Just from a different angle. There's Larry Rossler right there. Mr. Baja is going to be going next off the line. So Larry's been driving a lot of races by himself recently. Been soloing a lot of longer races. Yeah, they did the 1,000 last year, the year before, all by himself. The last time it went all the way down to La Paz, he did it by himself, I remember too. So he's still fast. Larry's won a lot of races, won a fast guy on dirt bike back in the day, and he's still fast in trucks. And here he goes. So the 43 is off the line. The Baja Jerky, Baja Vita sponsored trophy truck. Larry Rossler off the line. Not to be mixed up with Larry Ragland, the other LR.
I get him
There's
mixed
two
up.
R's. 2 LRs in off-road racing. So Rossler is in a 2-wheel drive. That's a 2-wheel drive truck there, the blue and white truck. So going to look a little faster, going to look a little bit more sideways coming around the course. Got some good drone shots for you guys today, so that's good. All right, so coming around the corner, going to come up to that hard 180 at the end of this straightaway in a minute. Let's see how he looks coming around the 180. Pretty fast section coming into it. You got to go through here, get through this left, and then down one more little straightaway, and then it's up at the end of the straightaway. Probably at about mile, 2 or so, you think that 180 is? Kind of a cool spot to see the difference between everybody coming around it, if we have a shot on everybody coming there. Because this all kind of looks the same right here. Nobody really looks super
I don't know.
different
It's pretty
here.
quick through here for a 2-wheel drive truck, honestly.
It is looking pretty quick.
But it is Rossler, so.
It is. He's going to have a good time no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the older trucks out here, too. This is not a new truck. This is a very old, I believe it's an ID design truck from back in the day. So very old truck here, still out there hanging with everybody, even in the modern trucks.
Not as old as the La Victoria truck we saw earlier in the spec truck class.
True. Very, very true.
I want to say that truck's older than me, potentially.
Yeah.
Impressive, though. It just goes to show, you build yourself a good, solid chassis out of quality materials and put together, very well, and they'll stand the test of time.
Yeah.
Man, just moving.
We don't know how fast, though, because we can't see times yet.
Nobody knows.
Is that left? Is that right? It looked really fast over that. Once again, Larry's probably done this section probably multiple times before, and he probably remembers every single corner of this.
Yep.
Because this has probably been in a race or 2 or 3 before that he's done, and he knows pretty much every section of Baja by the back of his hand, really. He doesn't even need a GPS.
There's Ampudia coming back into play. Maybe we can see him running across the finish line through that big drop off to G out section here. Looks like we're getting close to that area right here. Man, just moving. Impressive. It's so impressive what these trucks can do these days and how well they stand up to everything.
Sam Baldy. Now this is a different truck, right? This is a kind of a home-built-ish truck.
Yeah, so this is an in-house built and designed truck with a lot of their ideas and engineering into it, which is like we had touched base earlier in the live stream. Is that's one thing that drives me to this sport is just the individualness that you can put into these trucks, and how you can build them yourself if you wanted to. They're not all cookie cutter, all the same. Now there are a lot of chassis that are proven and known to do well, and so if you have the means, go right on ahead, buy one of those, and you've got a great start. But some people are thinkers and they want to come up with some cool, fun ideas and put their own twist on a traditional trophy truck chassis, and that's what the Baldies did right here with this truck. Very competitive truck, big cool engine in it, makes cool noises. It's the definition of trophy truck.
Definitely usually pretty fast.
Yeah.
Fly with caution.
So after them, let's see, who's going to be next? Sam Baldy. When Sam Baldy is driving it, next we're going to have the Kevin Thompson entry, the number 70 all-wheel drive Mason truck with Harley Letner. You can see right there. So Harley Letner is driving this race. He's qualifying and going to drive the whole race. And then Kevin Thompson will be racing with him at the Baja 1000.
Gotcha.
So this is another team that has two trucks here today. So this is the first. This is their Mason truck, all-wheel drive truck. Later, we are going to see their two-wheel drive truck out here with Jesse Jones actually driving it.
Strange combination. I didn't even know that was a thing.
A name that hasn't been around for a while, right?
Yeah.
Jesse hasn't driven in an off-road race in quite some time. He helped his son AJ Austin Jones. They were racing spec truck for a little while. They did get a trophy truck for a couple races. I think they only did a couple races in it, and they sold it to Bryce.
Yep.
It's actually the truck that Andy's driving today, or maybe Bryce is driving, one of those two trucks. And then he hasn't driven anything for a while, so it'd be cool to see him back in a trophy truck. Yeah. Jesse's obviously very fast, been around Baja score racing forever, so it'll be cool to see him back behind the wheel again in a two-wheel drive concrete truck a little bit later today.
Yeah, so I'm wondering he'll probably be in the Herbst truck, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, exactly.
So,
yep, they're a two-wheel drive Herbst truck.
Nice. So it'd be cool to see him wheel that thing around. I'm sure he hasn't lost his touch. I'm sure he's quick and competitive, just like he used to be. So definitely rad to see that name still coming up around in the sport.
Yeah, and this is Harley's first time ever qualifying in an all-wheel drive truck.
Oh,
so this ought to be a really fast run. Harley's another one of those checkers or records guys, right? Like just all out every time. So this is going to be, I expect, a very fast run here from Harley Letner. He could definitely be in the top 5, even top 3, if he has a good clean run today.
Yeah,
just got to keep it clean and keep it on course and keep it going forward.
Yep, just got to keep the tires out of the rocks and he'll be all right.
Exactly, and we'll see what happens. So it is getting pretty windy down there, it looks like, actually. More wind than we saw earlier today.
Correct.
So I don't know if that will, make some drag. Not too much, really. Everyone's the same, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't sweat too much of that on a short run like this. Now, if there's we were qualifying on some big, long lake bed sections, I'd be thinking about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Not so much.
Look at how fast that thing is off the line just with all 4 wheels driving.
Right? Insane.
Thing is super fast. So this is going to be a fun run to watch there with Harley Letner driving the number 70 Kevin Thompson Concrete Motorsports entry truck.
Yeah. You ridden one of those trucks yet?
Yes.
Insane?
I rode with Andy. It was very fast. Not in a race, just out testing, but it was very fast. The corner-to-corner speed is significant.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't want to get ruined.
The problem is once you go in that, you don't want to go in anything again. Like I don't even care if I go testing and somebody's like, "Hey, you want to go ride?" I'm like, "No, it's fine."
Yeah, I drove with Andy McMillan once, so
that truck. Like, why would you go in anything else?
Yeah, right.
It's like,
that's very true.
Now driving is different. I'll go drive anything. Right? Driving's fun no matter what you're in, but riding is
big trophy light guy.
Yeah, right. That looks like Baldy right there, right? The white and blue. Yeah. And then there's Harley Letner and the number 70. Now watch this truck. This truck is going to be fast. This will be one of the fastest ones through this section for sure. It's going to take a little bit for him to get used to driving the all-wheel drive, too, because he's driven two-wheel drive so much, right? Like, what do you think the learning curve difference is between the all-wheel drive and a two-wheel drive?
Man, it's got to be something, but, I mean, you look at the guy, he went from racing dune buggies his entire life to getting into a truck and did well right out of the bat.
Yeah.
I think he's just a natural wheelman. So anything he touches, he's going to get figured out. And I'm sure, they've got tons and tons of test time in these trucks.
Yeah.
And, he knows the ins and the out. And then Mason themselves, they probably got tons to teach these guys when they pick these trucks up. So I'm sure he's going to do great. Obviously, the little tips and tricks you learn after years of racing them, he hasn't quite gained those yet. But I mean, he seems to be doing fine right here, you know, lining the truck up, back on track, doing good. So obviously, you know, always rooting for Harley and Kevin Thompson. So we're hoping they get a good clean run here and a good start for Saturday.
Yeah, and his co-driver Brent's been around for a long time. He used to be with the Herps. He's ridden in a ton of trophy trucks, so he's got a good co-driver here today with them. Mm-hmm. So it'll be fun to watch. They're looking fast. That looks like the fastest truck I've seen through that section so far, I think. Yeah. It's hard to tell, like I said, without the time. So look at even around that corner, right? That was for sure the fastest anybody's gone around that corner yet. So this is going to be a very fast time here if the 70 can keep it clean all the way to the finish.
He's just got to dodge all those big old boulders, which you'll see here sticking out on the sides and all that. They may not look like much here from the helicopter view, but man, down there, those things are the size of Volkswagens, so you got to be careful. You stick a tire into one of those and you can pull the whole rear axle out of this thing. So you got to be careful doing that stuff. But if anybody knows that, it's Harley, so.
Manned aircraft approaching. Fly at a safe altitude. Fly with caution.
Fast.
Yeah, just coming out of the corners is so fast.
Impressive.
Look at this. He's definitely one of the fun ones to watch. So here we go. Here's the other truck, right? So this one is actually entered under his name, but it's not Harley Letner driving. It is Jesse Jones driving.
Yeah, I'm really curious, too, once we actually finally see some times here where everything stacks up as to where everybody's at. We know Bryce had a little bobble there at the start. Not sure what the issue was with that. Polvardi's in a spec truck, racing in trophy truck. There's a lot of things we're all curious about. We just want to see where everybody's stacking up.
We just need to see the times, damn it.
But Harley again running smooth there.
Fly with caution.
I think that's the two-wheel drive there, right?
Oh,
that's
maybe,
the
yeah.
section.
Stand corrected. Should paint the roofs different colors.
Right? They look
confusing
exactly,
all of us
those
here.
are even worse than it's like the Herps. It's exactly the same look, right? It's just all red. So that is Jesse Jones driving there. Like I said, Jesse Jones, no stranger to off-road racing. Been around a long time. Just hasn't driven a trophy truck in a long time.
Right.
His kid was driving it last. You know, the last time they were out a couple years ago now. And it'll be fun to see Jesse get back out there. He's one of the most fun guys to hang out with. He always has a good time in Baja and everything. Super nice guy. One of the nicest guys in off-road for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think he's went anywhere because I don't know if you pay attention to all the pre-run videos and everything with everybody. He's there still. He's pre-running. He's hanging out.
He's hanging out with
there.
Bryce and having fun with everybody.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's still in the pre-runners. He knows the pace. He knows how to do it all.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's one of those guys that he's not going anywhere. He's going to be, you know, in the off-road industry for a very long time to come.
So here it comes, two-wheel drive around the corner. Going to get a little bit more sideways.
No, we're not.
Just took it. He slowed down, actually, right? That's a way to do it too.
Not
you just slow
dynamic,
down a little bit more. It will go around. It doesn't look as cool, but it's probably faster, like we said.
Exactly.
All right. So next we're going to have. Let's see. We got. Where are we at? We're at Jesse Jones. We're going to be Mike Walser. So one of the other two truck entries. Here we go. Mike Walser, going to be the 89 on the start line. So Mike Walser, another Mason all-wheel drive, right?
Correct. Yeah.
It looks like they're running some of Christopher Polvardi's sponsors on there too, right? That truck looks like Christopher Polvardi's truck. So that is Mike Walser driving. He's going to be splitting the race with Christopher Polvardi. Mike's going to do the first half. Then, like we said, Chris is going to get out of the other truck and jump in here and finish it. Now, the Baja 1000, they're going to have a third driver. And do you know who that third driver is going to be?
I don't.
Ray Griffith is going to be in there with them. So that's a very fast trio in that truck. So the Baja 1000, I would definitely look for this truck to be very, very fast.
They
with
finished
those three guys
second
driving.
at the 500 too, didn't they? Walser and
I believe
Ray?
so. They were very fast there, yeah. It's going to be a good one to watch. It's a good team. It's always interesting to see who teams up with who, you know, every Baja 1000 in the longer races, see who works together. Some of it is sponsor driven, right?
Sure.
Some people can't, you know, team up with other people due to conflicting sponsors, but when that doesn't conflict, then it's always cool to see the teams that come together.
Did you have to turn anybody down for the Baja 400, Baja 1000 combo?
I had to turn driving down.
That's what I thought.
To do my coverage,
actually.
Okay.
So everybody, everybody thinks
fish coverage. Look at that, going through the bushes there.
Ah, all right.
Wow, okay.
Hey, man, quickest
it's straighter, right?
Yeah, point A to point B is a straight line.
straight.
Cut right through. Yeehaw, here we go.
Yeah.
So you had to turn down the all-wheel drive ride, huh?
It wasn't all-wheel drive. It was a two-wheel drive, but it was a trophy truck.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's kind of rough.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, we all thank
look at
you.
that. Oh, that was on the edge of the cliff right there.
Yeah,
right?
this
That
might
was
be an
good.
interesting one to watch. We've gotten loose 3 times in the last quarter mile, so let's see if Walser can keep this thing in place.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one to watch when he comes around that 180-degree corner in a little bit, too. Now, he's gotten fast quick. You know, because Mike Walser wasn't a name that you knew prior to maybe a year or 2 ago at the most, right? Like he wasn't. He was new. I'm not saying anything against him. We didn't know who he was. He came into the sport a couple years ago, did okay, did this, and then all of a sudden he got really fast because you used to think when that truck was fast that it was the fast driver he had, like a Puvardi or whoever was with him, like, oh, he must be in there driving it. But then you're like, well, that's Mike. Like he's actually gotten really fast. So that's somebody that came in, got some seat time, picked it up, and is doing really well now. And he's just as fast as a lot of these other guys now. You know, they've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, now I wonder if Ray Griffith had anything to do with that. Because I noticed once they started teaming up, the pace definitely stepped up a good amount.
I'm sure, yeah. You maybe you taught him some things, you know, went and ride with them, learned this or that here and there. Yeah. So definitely cool to see Mike Walser here.
Hopefully he can keep it together, get a good clean run, quit stepping the tires off the edge.
Right, that's always a little sketchy. That's a way to have a tire go down. There's one of the concrete trucks.
Let's see here.
I think that's a two-wheel drive.
It's hard to tell.
Looks like a two-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Herb's truck. Maybe? The number was like only one off, too. I think one is 71 and one is 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, so literally one digit off in the back. Same paint scheme. Both have vertical stacked spares in the back, so you can't look at that to tell much different. From the front, you can tell from the body.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's hard to tell from this angle which one that is. That is Jesse Jones because looking at this other one, I can see that Harley Lettner has finished in the other truck.
Got it.
We don't know his time, but he has finished.
Yeah, we got across the finish line.
Yeah. So far, I think everybody has finished. We haven't seen anybody stop.
And a legend himself, number 11, Rob McCachran. Probably got more wins in off-road than any of us will ever have starts.
Yes, right?
Quite an impressive man.
Yeah, that's quite a good stat. Yeah. Maybe Larry Rosso would be the only one that could challenge that for starts.
True. Very true.
Pretty much, yeah. Other than that, I would agree 100%. So he's out in his two-wheel drive. Like I said, he's racing with Luke McMillan, so he's going to be going for it, but he's not going to be going for it that hard probably.
Correct.
If Luke's having a good day, Rob just, he can go a little bit harder. If Luke has any issues, Rob just has to cruise. But it looks like he's going for it right here in qualifying at least,
yeah.
right? He doesn't want to start that far
No.
back, even if he's not going to go 110% the whole race. I was actually talking to Rob a week or two ago when I was out with Caden testing with the Razor team, and Rob said to drive a two-wheel drive trophy truck. Now you are at such a disadvantage. You have to drive that truck 110 to 120% the whole race. Whereas when you're driving an all-wheel drive truck, you can drive 80% and have the same pace that you're driving these at 120%. So the failure rate, or the chance of something happening, a flat tire, crashing, any of that is so much higher in a two-wheel drive nowadays because of how fast you have to drive it.
Which is just crazy, because could you imagine these guys driving 110% in the all-wheel drive?
If they hold sometimes maybe you have to, right?
Yeah, could you imagine a whole day of that?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Oh, somebody's off
looks
the
like we got
course
a concrete
there. That
truck.
was Jesse.
Yeah.
Jesse's off the side, making his way back on.
Standard issue.
So that was that U-turn down there. Maybe he went a little wide in the U-turn, right? And got off the side a little bit.
Oh, boy.
So bringing it to the finish here. I think he's coming across the finish line right here, right? Should be. Yeah, there's the little dip down into the thing, then across the finish line. So Jesse Jones made it across the finish line. Good job there. Fairly clean run. A little off track at the end there, but that's okay. Here comes Rob McCachran, the BF Goodrich number 11 Geyser Trophy truck. This is probably one of the oldest Geyser trucks out there, if not the oldest truck in the field.
Next to the ID truck.
Yeah, I wonder which one's actually older out of the two of them. They're both probably pretty close, huh?
There's probably some. Where's GFO Seth? He'll know.
Where's our stat guy? Where's our stat guy in the truck? Which one was built first?
Where's the chassis nerds at?
Or the ID truck? If Dave is watching, he might text me in a minute and tell me which one's older. He'll probably know. Dave Paul, the one that built the truck.
Yeah.
The ID truck.
So lining up next will be the 46 entry of Paul Wheel, driven by Toby Price. Pretty exciting to see that truck go. These guys are due for a good finish.
These guys are cool. I like these guys. They're from Australia. They came out. They had some bad luck off the start. They had a truck burn to the ground last year. They didn't know what they were going to do. It actually worked out okay timing-wise. Andy McMillan was getting out of racing his own truck for a bit. That was this truck right here. Paul ended up buying the truck off of Andy. They were able to continue racing, and they've had a lot of good success. Just haven't put like a complete race together to finish at the top. But they're always fast in qualifying. They usually have a good run going in the race, and they've just had like dumb little issues. You know, like a $2 part or just something, a TPS sensor, or something just little that's taking them out. But Toby's going to be really fast right here.
Yeah. He definitely knows how to control one of these things. It's pretty wild to watch.
Yeah. So this is Toby Price driving the Paul Wheel all-wheel drive truck right here, the Quad Lock sponsored truck, and this is a good one to watch.
A little more composed than some of the guys we've seen so far coming around that corner there. Kept all tires on the track, which is important.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We're working on getting some times, I'm told. Hopefully soon we'll have some times for you guys, because that would be good. That's all everybody wants to know today, right?
Yeah, who's winning?
Who's winning? I don't know yet.
That's what we want to know.
We know who looked fast, but we're gonna get it figured out for you guys here. So coming around, he's looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
No surprise, though.
Well, Toby Price did great when qualifying for San Felipe. I mean, he was up there up front, so it's very likely that he'll do well here as long as he doesn't have any hiccups or any big issues. But
this is a top 3 run if he keeps it clean for sure.
So
He'll be
far,
in the top
yeah.
3, yeah.
Little U-turn here. We'll see how he stacks this one up. That's a tight turn, I'll tell you what.
It really is, huh? Whoa, he's getting some speed coming out of the turn there. So that's another one that has a Joe Gibbs engine in it.
Yeah.
It's got the big engine and the all-wheel drive. Concrete has that in there, all-wheel drive also. A few of the guys have that one.
Now, the cool thing about those Joe Gibbs motors, like, yeah, sure, there's a lot of other engines with the same displacement and a lot of this and that, but just the RPM range that those things will spin at and how long they'll live.
Yeah.
You know.
Uh-oh. What's going on with Rob McCackern there?
Oh, just a slow turn. Oh, boy.
That corner was a little tighter than he was expecting there.
Looks to be so.
Yeah. He kind of blew the corner a little bit at first. It looked like went a little wide, and then it was kind of tough to make the turn.
Yeah. We'll see if he's got some McCackern magic to make up the difference here.
Yeah. All right, so next on the line is going to be the 92 trophy truck. It's another Brenthal entry. It'd be Paul. It looks like he is listed as the driver also. They're going to be going off the line next.
McCackern making a run for it. He's going to go up there, make the U-turn, and make the comeback to the finish line. There he goes. Big old jump there. Like we had mentioned earlier, you always know where the big jumps are because you got all the media guys hanging out. Oh, nice. Setting up early. All those years of short course experience really shining here around this corner. You got to think if he did bobble that corner back there, he's probably trying to make up every little ounce of time he can, trying to run this thing home. So be exciting here to watch him come through here.
And I'm working on getting us a couple times, so we'll have some times for you guys soon, so stand by.
The number 1 plate, Mr. Luke McMillan. He is on a roll lately, winning all kinds of stuff. Seems to be unstoppable at this point, but him and his brother both doing great in these Mason all-wheel drive trucks. Got some cone actually going on. There's people running around there in the background. Lost a shot here. But obviously, you know, definitely a calm, collected driver. Keeps the truck in one piece all the time, not doing anything crazy. Like I said, not one to make the highlight reel for the wildest save or what have you, but definitely will be up there running the pace. So like Fish had mentioned earlier, you'll probably watch him and not be extremely impressed here through the live stream, but you'll be absolutely impressed with his time at the finish line.
Yeah, exactly. He's always one that doesn't look like he's going that fast, but he's actually going very fast. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to, I mean, go back in time and do yourself a favor and watch some old Rob McCachran in-car stuff, and you watch this guy drive one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on the shifter, just like he's on a Sunday cruise, and always up there up front and passing people, getting crazy. So these guys, I think, I would argue to say that the McMillans probably put in the most amount of test time in their vehicles compared to everybody else in the sport. Definitely know the ins and the outs, always tweaking, always changing, always messing with stuff. So these machines, you know, like we had mentioned earlier, is like everybody can have a Mason all-wheel drive, but you can guarantee that these McMillan Mason all-wheel drives are definitely tweaked to perfection. Whether not just shocks, but I'm talking all kinds of stuff. Just trying to give them that little bit of an advantage and that little bit of longevity to the equipment to get them to make it the entire run of the race. There's the Brenthal truck here making its way around, nice and smooth. Opting to run, looks like no spare tires in the back. You know, that might be a weight option, or maybe the truck handles a little bit more differently than they expected it to, so making some changes. That's definitely something you got to think about when it comes to a qualifier like this. Fish is over here working on time, so
getting times for you guys. Hold on,
we're working on it. But yeah, you know, when you go qualifying, depending on what the course is and what's going to happen, you know, you might want to stack both spares on. You might want full fuel. You might want half fuel. You might want a very small amount of fuel. It kind of just depends on your driving style and, you know, the way that you think the vehicle is going to react around some of these corners. We got Dan McMillan here in the 23, another Mason all-wheel drive. His brother Luke just went ahead of him. Same thing, just lots of test time into these trucks. A lot of R&D goes into making these things the best possible machines they could be. And, you know, it's cool to see these guys succeed and do well. Dan's always there. He's always a top contender. He's always in the top 5. So it'd be nice to see him put something together.
All right, so we're working on getting the drones back up. They're changing the batteries out right now, so we're going to have a start line camera here for you guys for a little bit. I have some potential times. Now, these are, once again, very unofficial until we get confirmation later, but I'm going to read off some times. I'm just waiting for a correction. Okay, so Christopher Polvardi and Bryce Menzies are almost at the same time, which is kind of interesting to me. But Bryce Menzies did have a problem, remember? So I think that's why. So we have Christopher Polvardi at 7:04.440, and then we had Bryce Menzies at 7:04.370. So that was the first two. So Bryce is 7:04.370, and then Polvardi was 7:04.440. Very close.
Which is only 4 seconds faster than our top spec truck qualifier.
Yes,
which is
very close.
7:08.
So Polvardi at that time does make sense. He's in a spec truck, right?
Correct.
So he would have been the top qualifier potentially in his spec truck, but
if
he's
his
entered
spec truck is still a spec truck.
Right, if his spec truck is still a spec truck.
Yeah.
He may have done something to the engine. All right, so then coming down my list a little ways here, the fastest time that I see right now is Alan Ampudia so far. We're not surprised there, right?
No,
Alan looked very, very fast through there. So Alan Ampudia with a 6:52.718. So 6:52 for Alan Ampudia. The second fastest I see right now is Harley Letner. No surprise once again, 6:57.002. So Alan Ampudia is currently first, unofficially. Harley Letner is currently second. And then third is going to be Bryce Menzies. And fourth is going to be Christopher Polvardi in his spec truck.
Insane.
Out of everybody that's gone so far.
Yeah.
And then I'll be getting more times as we go. But that's what we have for you guys so far.
Yeah, we still got McCachran and Price and both the McMillans. So we've got a good amount of guys still stacked up. Now, where did Andy McMillan stack up?
Yeah, so I have times for some other guys, too. So Andy McMillan was a 7:15. So 7:15. James Dean was a 7:13.
Impressive.
7:13. Ryan Pullman was a 7:16. Luke Johnson was a 7:28. Tracy Graff was a 739. Larry Rossler was a 719. Sam Baldy was a 727. Jesse Jones was a 744. And then Mike Walser was a 720.
So these guys, extremely unofficial.
Extremely unofficial.
Yeah, don't trust anything.
Those are the times
here.
that we're getting for you guys right now. The official times will be out later.
Yeah.
But those are probably what they are.
Yeah. Now I think you go back in time. We look at our top spec drivers, and that was like a 608, a 610.
Yes.
Like that's. Oh, I'm sorry, 708, 710. So we're right there stacked up with them.
These trucks are the same times, running the same times that the spec trucks were.
Yeah.
Which honestly is pretty surprising, really.
Honestly,
I would have thought that these all-wheel drives would have been much faster than that, really.
Yeah. But of course, tight
Kinda
technical course like this, maybe everybody's just getting hung up in the tight twisties, and there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, it doesn't matter quite
shooting
as much.
to shooting might be a little bit quicker, but might not make up that much time in the overall.
It'll be interesting to see like what Rob McCachran's time is. We don't have his yet, but obviously that would be one of the faster two-wheel drive times we're probably going to see today. So once we get his time, we'll let you guys know. But right now, it is Alan Impudia who is your fast qualifier right now, followed by Harley Letner in second. So that's your 1-2, and then Bryce Menzies is sitting in third, just ahead of Christopher Polvardi in fourth.
Yep.
And then we're working on getting a top 10 list for you guys, and then we'll get that posted in a few minutes as soon as we get them. Yeah. The drones are getting new batteries in them right now, so hopefully they'll be back up soon. But until then, we have the start line camera for you guys. So here's the 85, the Lawrence Equipment truck. So this is going to be, let's see, they're not on, oh yeah, they're there.
Mikey Lawrence.
Mikey Lawrence,
yep.
And he is driving according to our list. So the 85 is going to be next off the line.
Yeah, another Herb Smith truck, always great looking trucks, always do well. Mikey Lawrence, like I said, strong track record of solid race finishes in the past, so always an exciting person to watch on the racetrack, and hope the best here. Hope he can get a good clean run going.
Yeah, so we'll see how they go in the 85. We are currently about halfway through our qualifiers in the trophy truck class, maybe a little bit more than halfway, and then we're going to have the trophy truck legends that are coming up at the end also. So there is no gap between them. It's going to be trophy trucks straight into the legends. They all did their warm-up lap at the same time.
Yep.
So there won't be any break. We'll be here until this is over, basically.
Now, what's the definitions of a legends?
The legends, you have to be 50 years old to be a driver in the truck.
I see.
So the left side of the truck, the steering wheel, has to be driven by somebody 50 or older.
I see.
That's the only requirement. The co-driver can be as young as they want. You can have a 20-year-old co-driver all you want, but they can't ever be one of the drivers. So anybody that drives the truck has to be 50. And that's
so there's hope. I've still got 20 years to get there.
Yeah, you got a little bit of time.
Yeah, okay. One day we're getting a trophy truck.
And some of the guys, some people like racing the Legends class, some people don't. Because we have guys like Larry Rossler. Larry Rossler could be racing the Legends class if he wants to, but he won't. He races the trophy truck class.
Yeah, he's still dang fast.
So he's still dang fast. He's finishing on the podium in the trophy truck class, so he doesn't want to race the Legends class, So it's kind of up to you. Just because you're over 50, you don't have to enter the trophy truck Legends class. It's there for if you want to.
Yeah.
It's all the same trucks. There's no rules. It's unlimited. The only rule is 50 years or older.
Got it.
And that's all it is.
I see.
And they do start where they qualify. So if we have a trophy truck legend that qualifies like fifth today out of all the trophy trucks, they will start there tomorrow. So one to look for is going to be Ricky Johnson driving the Gustavo Badosola truck.
Yeah.
He will qualify pretty high today when he has a good run.
Yeah. So looking here, if you look here on the list of legends.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Clay Lawrence, so it'll be quick. Oh, yeah, Clyde Stacy, that's somebody to talk about. We talked about that earlier in the broadcast. That's the 2-engine truck. That's exciting to watch.
Yeah, that'll be fun when we see it coming up. It's the number 5. It's going to be Nick Vanderway that is driving that truck today. It was supposed to be Robbie Gordon, and then Robbie Gordon is a little busy at the sand show and trying to deliver his UTVs, so he's not going to make it down to Baja. He didn't pre-run. He didn't do anything. He was just going to come down and try to drive for qualifying, and then he was going to do the first 130 miles or so on Saturday and then go home to be at the Sand Sports Show, but I guess that plan has changed. It doesn't sound like Robbie's coming to Baja.
That's a lot of logistics.
It's a lot of logistics. Robbie's done it before, though. That guy he's done multiple races in the same weekend before. He's done the same thing before. He's raced the Baja 400 and gone to the Sand Show after it, so he could do it if he wanted to, but he's a little bit busy with Speed UTV, as could be expected.
I remember back in the short course days when there was like all the big short course races, and then there was SSTs and desert racing, and there'd be weekends where everybody would stack up. And I remember seeing everybody helicoptered to all these different spots to qualify, and then go do the start of this one, and then fly to this one. I remember McCachran doing that.
Yeah.
It was very, very exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's fun to see it.
Yeah.
So this is Tavo Vadosola here, Junior. This is Tavo, and then number 21 on the start line. Once again, another Mason all-wheel drive truck. He's going to be very fast also. Him and Ampudia are two of the craziest drivers, I would say, in this class.
Yep.
Him, Lettner, and Ampudia probably the craziest.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
out of these guys.
Yeah, there's that video if you have some downtime, go on the YouTube and try and find the clip. There's a clip of Tavo on that lake bed where he hits that like pucker bush wide open, or he steps out of the dust right into like a 5-foot tall pucker bush and flies probably 200 yards, sets back down, never lets off the gas. The guy's an absolute animal.
Yep.
It's impressive to watch that guy drive. So hopefully he can, put something together here and shock and awe us with some cool highlight reel type stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be cool to see what happens here. Oh, so I'm being told Bryce Menzies lost brakes.
Oh.
First turn.
Perfect.
That's what was going on.
Yeah.
We knew something was going on there.
So I know a lot of these trucks, what they'll have is shutoff valves actually inside the cab of the truck, so you can reach it from the driver's compartment. And what it does is from the master cylinder, so basically your brake pedal goes in your master cylinder goes to your calipers. And what you can do is if you develop a leak outside at the wheels, which is usually what will happen, like one of the jumper lines or one of the soft lines where there's a pivot, you'll get a leak there. And so what you can do, instead of losing complete pedal pressure, because the balance bar will rock to the side with least amount of pressure, you can actually shut that side of the brake system off with the on and off, the ball check valve, and then you still have either front or rear brakes. Now that's something I'm assuming he has, which is probably what allowed him to run at a quicker pace.
So you can at least go with some brakes
exactly,
still, right?
Yeah. Instead of just losing 100% brakes, because what will happen is you'll just push all the fluid out of that master, and then that brake pedal will just turn into a dead pedal. Nothing will happen out there. So you've got to have those shutoff valves after the masters, just as a safety thing. You don't lose your brakes on a lake bed, and you're going to need miles to slow that thing down.
Right.
Now, if you have the ability to shut it off, you can at least front brake or rear brake drag yourself to a stop.
Yeah, very good point. That's one of these things. Okay, look, we got a drone back up, so this is good. We got batteries back in the drone. They changed the battery out. They're going to be flying again for you guys.
Yeah.
So out on course right now, what did we have last? I think Tavo took off.
And then we have the McMillans out there. Luke should be finishing up. Dan should be finishing. Mike
they're both finished, actually. I do see that.
Okay.
So they have both finished. We don't have times for them yet. We're working on that. There's Tavo right there. Yeah. So Tavo's going to be next off the line. I didn't notice, did the Ryan Daniel truck go?
Not
I don't think
yet,
it did,
no.
right?
So I'm wondering if maybe they're late starting or starting at the back of the pack, making repairs from their little tip over during the parade lap. So.
If you guys didn't see earlier, the reason why this started a little bit late was the Ryan Dival truck, or Daniel truck, sorry, not Dival. Ryan Daniel truck was tipped over. The number 28 was tipped over on the course. It took him a while to get him off the course and clear the course. So we had a little bit of delay in that. This seems like it's longer than 3 minutes here. Is it just me again?
I think it's just us. Oh, yeah, there's
here we go. This is earlier. Okay, so this is Ryan Dival earlier. This was on the practice lap, so this was not on the timed lap. So this is what happened earlier to the number 28, as they should have been going next off the line right now in front of Tavo, but we haven't seen them yet. So either they're working on the truck, trying to get it fixed, or the truck is broken and they're not going to be able to.
Sure.
So we don't know how hard they crashed. We just saw that.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened to lead up to that.
Yeah, Tavo's still here waiting. Maybe it's just a long 3 minutes.
It seems like more than 3 minutes, doesn't it?
It does.
So who was out in front of him? We had Mikey Lawrence on track, and then Dan McMillan finished. So Mikey Lawrence has not finished yet, so we'll see if we can...
Oh, there goes Tavo off the start,
he's
back
leaving.
with the drone shot. Okay, so all good to go.
All right, maybe just a long 3 minutes again.
Yep.
I swear it was longer than 3 minutes, though. You never know. There could have been someone on the course they had to clear, like spectator or somebody. You never know.
Sure.
So here you go. Once again, this is going to be a fast. Look at that. He's already looking fast. This is going to be a very fast run from Tavo right here.
Nice change from the black truck. I kind of like seeing white race cars out there with the colorway on it and everything. Almost looks like the La Victoria truck with the
Right, I got some more times coming in, so give me a second here, and I will be right back with you guys.
I love watching this section right here. You watch the all-wheel drive guys just kind of steer the thing in, poke the nose to the center, and get on the gas. It's cool to see how it hooks up, doesn't get all wild, doesn't step out. It just transfers and goes. It's definitely something you don't see in a two-wheel drive. Two-wheel drive, you got to use, the momentum of the truck to slow it down, kind of drag the side of the car, and then get it to shoot out of the corner. Whereas the all-wheel drive, you just kind of point and shoot. It's definitely cool to watch, and makes me a little bit jealous.
Yeah, right. All right, we have the top 5 leaderboard. Here's our current top 5. Now, this is prior to some new results coming in, so this was as of a couple minutes ago from guys that had finished.
There we go. We got the number 10 of Alan Ampudia in the number 1 spot with a 6-minute 52-second run. We've got the number 70 entry of Harley Lentner, driven by Harley Lentner, at 6 minutes and 57 seconds. Bryce Menzies in the number 7 with a brake issue off the start, which explains why he was kind of cruising off the start of the thing at a 7 minutes 4 seconds. Christopher Pulvardi in the 91. Running the spec truck, assuming he's got a spec truck engine in it still, in a very respectable 7 minutes and 4 seconds, which would actually put him 4 seconds faster than Abdali Lopez, who was our fastest spec truck qualifier. And then rounding out the top 5 is Tim Herbst, driven by James Dean in the number 19 with a 7-minute 13-second run. Very impressive run there. We got Tavo here getting a little loose, hitting some big old jumps.
Getting crazy? Tavo's always good to get crazy,
Yeah.
right? We were just talking about that.
And it looks like we got an update on some times.
Yeah, I got some more times in. So we have a new leader right here. Not really a surprise. Toby Price, new leader with a 6:43. 6:43. The fastest guy before that was a 6:52.
Wow.
Alan Ampudia. So he beat him by 9 seconds, almost 10 seconds faster for Toby Price. That dude is just fast.
Impressive.
Very impressive.
That's what you get for riding a dirt bike as fast as you do, you know?
Right? Yeah, you ride a dirt bike, you win a couple Dakars, you come out here, you drive an all-wheel drive truck, you set the fast time so far by 9 seconds over second place.
Impressive.
This is going to be a fast run right here too, but I don't know. That's going to be hard to beat that Toby Price time. Otherwise, we had Rob McCachran, had a 7:15. The 92, Paul had a 7:34. Luke McMillan, 6:52. So Luke was a 6:52.9, and Ampudia was a 6:52.7.
Ooh,
so
just pushed
Luke
him out.
Just got behind Ampudia. Ampudia just snuck in front of Luke by 0.2 of a second. Unofficial, of course. They have to confirm these, but that's what it's looking like right now.
Yeah.
So that would mean that your top 3 is going to be, as of right now, we're going to have Toby Price in the Paul Wheel entry in first. We're going to have Alan Ampudia in second, and then just behind him, Luke McMillan in third.
Impressive.
That's going to be your top 3 as of right now.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
All right,
What
Roberto
there?
Romo is stepping out. Underestimated the turn
no.
there. This is probably one of my favorite trucks. This is the ex-Luke McMillan truck.
Yeah, speaking of Luke McMillan, that's his old truck, right?
Yeah, very, very, very winning truck here. It's a racer engineering chassis with a lot of tweaks done by the McMillan shop to make it even better than it was to start with. And Roberto's had tons of success with this truck. Great solid runs. He seems to keep the thing up front, keeps it in one piece. Hopefully that was his only bobble for the weekend, and he can kind of tighten himself up a little bit and get the same across the finish line without any more damage.
Yeah, that was a good little corner there, huh?
I wonder what the navigator was saying in that one.
Probably a few select choice 4-letter words.
Uh-huh. I know that's what my brother usually says. When I make a little bobble, we're fine, don't worry. He's over there yelling, "What are you doing? Take it easy. We got to fix this thing. What do you think you're doing?"
Yeah.
But it's all in the name of the game. You got to go fast. You got to take risks. Now here's the U-turn here. We'll see how he navigates this one. Sets up a little early, gets some stuff around. Puts the power to the ground.
Whoa,
all right.
kicking it way out there.
Looks cool, but we're eating up time.
Like, how much slower was that than
A
the
lot.
guys that don't look like anything, right?
Yep.
Like, yeah, just all over the place there.
Yeah.
It's hard with the 2-wheel drives. You know, you try to get the power to the ground. You only got 2 wheels that are spinning. It's
That's
tough.
it. Yeah,
And it's getting chewed up a little more all the time, too.
Yeah, you can see the wheels dancing a little bit more than they were earlier today. You got to think the mile per hour is a little bit more, too, coming through these sections. So they're hitting the G outs a little bit harder, and the trucks are, going through the travel a little bit faster. But
yeah,
all in all, it looks like this course is holding up pretty good.
Yeah, definitely not bad. And after him, we have Cameron Steele is going to be next. So we got the trophy truck number 16 right there, Cameron Steele on the line. So Cameron is driving with Ryan Arciero. That is Cameron that is qualifying. He told me he's going to qualify the truck, and he's going to do the first half of the race, and then Ryan's going to get in. They are driving together at the Baja 1000 also, and should be a fast team. These guys have a lot of Baja experience. Cameron, one of the most experienced people out there. He spends more days a year in Baja on the trails down there than anybody else in the sport, for sure. Between all of his trails, trail missions, his bike trips that he does, Rick Marble, all that stuff. Cameron is always down in Mexico. He knows every part of the peninsula. It's pretty awesome.
Big Baja guy, some
Big
people
Baja
might say.
guy.
Big Baja guy.
Yeah. So look to him for him to have a pretty good run. They have a new big block in there that they put in kind of recently, maybe one race ago.
Yep.
So it's got a little bit more power. Once again, it's an older geyser truck, but a very proven truck. And look for them to be somewhere towards the top, in the two-wheel drive class at least, out of the two-wheel drives. All in the same class.
Yeah, easy, dude, easy. You're about to start a fire here talking about class separations.
Split them? No, I don't like that. Oh, no,
Cameron.
No, Cameron.
Man. The two-wheel drive bites again.
No.
That's all right, though. Honestly, that didn't eat that much time.
No, that was a donkey move, though.
Yeah.
Come on, Cameron. Settle down.
Yeah. Now, as long as he didn't pick up a stick flat or something like that, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Get that thing back on the pipe and up moving again.
Cody is not very happy with him right now. I'll tell you that. Cody Stewart is riding with Cameron. He's been a long-time navigator of him. I think it's Cody in there. He usually is. He is definitely telling him to settle down right now. It just pushed a little bit out of the corner, huh? Came in a little too hot. Truck looks like it took it pretty good, though, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He didn't eat that much time. He kind of used the bush as a slowdown and shot right out of it.
It didn't even mess up the fiberglass too much from the drone, at least. Doesn't look like it. So that's good. Let's see how he does around the 180-degree turn in a minute. Hopefully he comes in a little slower to this big corner here. All right, coming around. Let's see. Yep, to the inside.
Yep.
All right, little tamer. That was good.
Yeah.
But that was faster. See, it didn't look as fast. Definitely faster than sliding all over the place through the corner. Still have a pretty good run. Yeah, he didn't really lose. Like you said, I don't think he lost much time in that little incident there.
What's crazy to talk about is you'd mentioned that he has a big block in this truck now.
Yeah.
And if you go back, even 5-6 years ago, before the big, uprising of all-wheel drives, the idea of a big block in a trophy truck was pretty wild. There was a very long time where the small blocks were the king of trophy truck racing just because of how quick you could spin the things.
Yep.
And now it's like, to keep up with all this, you need the torque, you need the bottom end, so everything's going from, the big displacement small blocks to big block engines.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting to see that change in the sport and the change in the industry. And, it's almost as if the small block's somewhat, I don't want to say dead, but, small block has definitely taken a back seat to an easier way to get big horsepower, which is a big block.
Definitely.
Maybe a little bit more reliable. Maybe you can get some more miles out of them.
The big block weighs a little more, right? So you get a little more weight,
yeah.
but it's not really, you have more power, so the power to weight kind of evens itself out.
Mm-hmm. So it's definitely cool. I mean, it's obviously, all of us horsepower guys, like, big blocks are big blocks. It's cool.
Right.
I don't know anything with a big block. I'd like to.
Yeah.
But shoot, dang.
All right, so I think this is the TSA truck here. Yep, going off the line, Dallas Luttrell. So that is going to be one of our last trophy trucks. We only have maybe 3 more trucks after that, unless somebody entered at the last minute. But we're almost through the trophy trucks, and then we have about 9 trophy truck legends, and then that'll be it for today. And then we'll have some more times for you. So right now we got our leader is still Toby Price right now with a blistering 6:43. Very, very fast. 9 seconds faster than second place. I don't see anybody topping that. I mean, I'm looking at the list. Tavo, we haven't got a time for him yet, but other than Tavo, and I don't think Tavo looked quite as fast as Toby did just from the sections we saw. No. I don't see anybody on here being able to touch that time.
Well, Eric Husted might be able to do something. He's been doing very well in that all-wheel drive truck that they've got going on. That, converted Porter truck. He's very, very fast.
Right here?
Yeah, he's very fast in the stateside races up in Nevada. And something like this is very Nevada-esque, real tight and twisty and turny. It's kind of in his wheelhouse. So, I mean, Eric might be able to put something together to, at least get him up there in the top 5.
Yeah, definitely.
There's Cameron. Still got all the tires and wheels on it. Looks like he's kind of mellowed himself out a little bit from our first little mishap.
Yeah, all the panels are good.
At least from here.
Yeah.
Got a 200-yard paint job going on.
I'm just told that Tavo is in second place, but I haven't got his time yet.
Let's see. We need the
times.
So
it sounds like Tavo. See, that's the only one I thought maybe had something for what's his name? I already forgot his name. For Toby Price. For Toby Price, it sounds like Tavo is in second. We'll look and get his time for you guys soon. So it sounds like a good run for Tavo, though. That would push down Ampudia to third place and Luke McMillan to fourth place. Not Dan, but Luke in fourth place. I'm told it's a 6:51.
That's impressive.
So a 6:51 potentially for Tavo. Here we go. I got some new times. All right, I'm going to write down some more times for you guys. I'll be back in a second. Mikey Lawrence in with a 727. 727 for the number 85. And yeah, it is a 651.239
Impressive.
for Tavo Vadosola. So Tavo Vadosola, your second fastest qualifier so far. To me, I'm still very impressed with Christopher Polvardi's qualifying time, though. To be at a 704 in a two-wheel drive spec truck, what we think is a spec truck, engine in there still.
Yeah.
That's a very, very fast time.
I'd be very curious as to find out. Maybe through your Fishgistics you can ask, hey, Christopher, what engine you got in
there?
thing?
I will find out.
Give us a lowdown.
For tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, if anybody knows, hit us up. You know how to get a hold of us.
Exactly.
Here's a 38 of Eric Husted. I believe I was corrected last time. This is an old Porter truck converted to four-wheel drive. They do great here stateside. A lot of the Nevada races, always a top contender. They win just about everything they enter. So it'd be exciting to see him put something together down here and make a good run of it.
All right, so we have Roberto Romo Jr. has finished. We don't have time for him yet, but he's across the line, so we know that. He's across. There's Cameron, you see. This is one of the final corners. Going to make that hard U-turn. I think this is where Jesse went a little too hot and blew it out of the second part of this turn. So Cameron's looking pretty good. It'll be interesting to see what Cameron's time is, too, after having that little thing. But I don't think it costs him more than maybe like a second or two, really, most, right?
Yeah.
Maybe 2 seconds. He looks like he's trying to make up for it here, though. He's going pretty fast. Let's see how he does to a dip. He checked up quite a bit.
Yeah, on the binders.
Yep. Well, checking up again on the binders.
I think the spec truck guys were the only ones wild enough to hit that section.
They're the only
full
ones
tilt.
that went through that right there. I think everybody was watching this earlier in the trophy trucks, right? They were watching this feed, and they're like, okay, we got to slow down for that one.
Exactly.
That's a bad G out there.
So we got Eric Husted here getting ready to take off. Watch him take off the line. Now, if we had sound, this is a great sounding truck. Very unique tone to it and everything. It's just cool. Something we talked about earlier in the spec truck broadcast is just kind of the uniqueness of all these vehicles, and that's kind of like the draw to the sport is, making your car different, making sound different, making power different, just doing different things, being innovative, and trying to just progress. Yeah, absolutely. We don't all have to drive stock cars here.
Yep.
We can do some cool stuff.
Yeah, so Ryan Daniel we did not see go. So unless he goes at the end, it looks like Ryan Daniel is not going to qualify. He's probably figured, I might as well not even qualify, I'll just start at the back anyways, to try to fix the car and make sure nothing's wrong with it that breaks during qualifying,
So from Mario Gutierrez, he tells me that Polvardi has the spec engine and they didn't touch it.
Okay, so spec engine in it for Polvardi is what we're being told.
That's third story, though. He heard it from somebody.
Yeah.
So we'll see here. But
we'll see.
Still impressive. Even if he didn't, even if it's still an LS-based something, which I'm assuming it is, that's a very impressive run.
Yeah, very
impressive. So, I mean, it's all known. He's good. He's fast in short course. He's fast in all desert in that truck. So,
and he's getting a real trophy truck soon, too. So he's going to be one to watch for sure.
Good. One less guy I got to try and chase around.
Right? All right, so Eric Husted should be going off the line anytime now. He's going to be one of our final trophy truck class qualifiers. We're going to have 2 trucks if they both were here after him. And then that should be it in the trophy truck class, with the trophy truck legends going right after them, and there's 9 of them. So we should have about 11 more cars, 12 more cars to go, including Eric, if the entry list that we have here is correct. So we'll wait and see what happens here. If you're just joining us, we have Paul Wheel entry with Toby Price, 6:43, fastest time of the day, still at the top. Second is going to be Tavo Vadosola, 6:51, no surprise there. So we have all-wheel drive. I think all-wheel drives are the top 6 at least right now that I've counted so far.
Yeah, 6.
So, yeah, and then Polvardi is
where did Dan stack up? Oh, he's a little further back.
I'm not sure. Dan is, he's 7:10. Still fast, actually. Dan is going to be, he's really going to be the next one after...
Polvardi at 6:704, Menzies at 7:04.
7:04, and then, it's going to be...
Tim Herbst at 7:13.
Yep.
And then it should
with
be
James Dean driving?
Correct.
So really the low 7s are where you got to be if you're going to have a good time today. If you're going to be at the top 3, you're going to have to be below the 7s. You're going to have to be high 6s. So that truck does look pretty fast off the line.
Oh, it's quick. He's fast. It's a great little nimble truck, and all 4 wheels turn, which makes a big advantage. It hooks up and goes.
Yeah.
So
this will be an interesting qualifying time to see.
Yep. Little bobble there. Everybody else looking earlier seemed to come up through that section and kind of just, chicane it to a straight and make it quick. We'll see how he does here in this turn.
Yeah.
Coming the old Cameron Steele Bush turn.
Right? That was it right there, wasn't it? Yeah. I think that's one of those you're just coming in a lot hotter than you think, right? Because it's straight away, and then it's actually a pretty hard chicane right there.
A big little dog leg right there kind of makes it awkward going around. And then you got to think, we're talking, the drone itself doesn't really make this look as extreme as it is, but you got to think that's a little canyon right there. So you're hanging off the edge there, and, us from home sitting here watching the drone, what are these guys doing? Hang that thing out. Yeah. But that's got to be a 20, 30 foot, pretty canyon. Steep drop off there. Yeah. And if you just dip one tire down that ledge, you're going down in the hole, which... Honestly, I'm very surprised we haven't seen that happen today.
Me too, actually. We haven't seen anybody really. Honestly, Cameron is one of the only ones that we've seen below a corner much.
And Roberto
Jesse
Romo,
Jones went off the side and Romo. But, no one's actually, gone way off course or anything, didn't look like today.
Which is good. That just means that all the crew guys get to drink beers tonight.
Yeah.
They don't get to work.
I think everybody's kind of being a little bit smart, too.
True. You got to think, we had talked earlier, this is the qualifier. For the qualifier for the Baja 1000 is the way most people will view this race.
Yes.
So it's you want to be somewhat conservative, but get yourself into a great position.
Yes. Oh, he's way wide there, going through the bushes.
Yeah, still on the pipe, though. That slowed him down a little bit.
Got to get it straightened out here. Get in the groove.
Use the whole racing track.
Definitely looks fast.
Yeah.
So Roberto Ruiz in the 68 is the next on our entry list. We will see if he's at the start. Just in a minute. We got Eric Husted here. Coming along the ridge after that right-hand corner that I thought somebody was going to blow, but nobody's blown it so far. We still got about 10 trucks left, though. So we'll wait and see. I thought it was going to be a spec truck.
Same.
Oh, stepping out a little bit there.
He's on a sick one.
He's going pretty fast, or it looks fast at least.
To be honest,
I don't know if that's good or not, right?
To be honest, this is what Abdali's qualifier looked like.
Yeah.
He was a little loose, kind of wild. You and I both were like, he's going to ball that thing up. And then where did he end up?
Yeah, then he's at the top.
So there is definitely potential for this to come together and be a solid run.
Yeah, definitely could see a fast time here. And the other person that's going to have a good time here, like I said earlier, was Ricky Johnson driving the Gustavo Bedoso senior truck.
Yep.
That is a full trophy truck. Oh, so they got an engine in here, it looks like.
Yeah.
So they were having engine trouble in here in the 27, Jonathan Brenthal. So I don't know who's actually driving that truck. If that's Kyle, I don't think it's Kyle Jurgensen because he's going to have to start in the other truck.
Yeah.
So he couldn't be driving that truck.
No.
So it could be Connor McMullen in there, potentially, or it's one of the Brenthal brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the entry list it said Jonathan Brenthal was going to be driving it, so it could be Jonathan in there.
Oh boy.
Now the question is that the all-wheel drive, or did they put a body on a spec truck?
For points.
Let's see how much it's stepping out around the corners.
Yeah, it might be all-wheel drive.
Is it?
It's putting a good roost off the front tire. Hard to tell.
Hard to tell. They have so many trucks over there at Brenthal that they could literally put the number on any of their trucks, and it's hard to tell from the drone angle which truck that is. Potentially it's their all-wheel drive trophy truck that they've been racing, but I did hear they had some engine trouble with it, and they weren't going to be racing it, so maybe they did something at the last minute, or they got it fixed. I'm going to say that's a two-wheel drive, because it's kind of getting a little squirrely around the corners. It's stepping out a lot?
Yeah. It's hard to tell, though.
See if we can tell maybe around the big 180 turn how fast they pull out of the corner. Just kind of playing it safe, checking up there a little bit. Let's see, what's it look like?
Yeah, it looks like a two-wheel drive.
I think that's a two-wheel drive, right?
Same.
Pretty sure that's a spec truck that they're racing because the engine blew up in the other truck, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a two-wheel drive truck, pretty sure. So once again, they're doing this most likely to try to get a decent starting spot for the Baja 1000, right?
Correct.
They're probably going to race the all-wheel drive truck at the Baja 1000.
Mm-hmm.
They're having trouble with it right now. They're like, hey, let's put our body on it, or put our number on a spec truck. Go out there. It's the same truck.
Yep.
Go out there, race it, and get a starting spot for the Baja 1000.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is start at the very back at the Baja 1000. That makes for a very long day.
You'd rather start 20th with, just a cruise finish or something, or 15th with the cruise finish at the Baja 400 than 30-something or 40 even, at the Baja 1000.
We got the number 68 truck of Roberto Ruiz taking off here. We're starting to round out our list of trophy trucks, and then we're going to step into the legends. We got one more coming up, Felix in the 96. There's Eric Husted coming into the finish.
Yeah, so we'll try to get some times for these last few trucks as soon as we can here for you guys. I don't know. I don't think that's beating Toby.
I don't think so either.
I don't think Toby was checking up for any of that right there.
No.
I can't see him checking up for any of that with that time that he got.
He's a wild man, that's for darn sure. Look how much of a berm has been built up in that corner. It just panned out. But if you look closely, you can see there's actually like a big old banked turn there now. Back to Roberto here, running through. Hard to tell what kind of truck this one is, what chassis it is. Good looking truck, nice and steady, playing it safe. Get the thing to the finish line fully intact with a full body on it so you can start Saturday nice, clean, ready to go racing.
Yeah, exactly. So we're trying to get a time from Cameron. We're waiting on a time for Cameron Steele still, and then Roberto Romo, and then everybody after that. So as soon as we get some more times for you guys, we'll let you know. So this is is that the 68 there?
Correct.
Just talked to Cameron, they're all okay. Said he came in a little hot. I said, yeah, you're a donkey. He had a good run after that though. So we're trying to get him his time and let him know what it was in a minute here.
Now on race day, where can people watch the race? Can we watch it here?
Yeah, they're going to have it here.
Okay.
You can watch it here. I will be doing my fish logistics updates also. So you guys can tune into both of those. I'll be live on the hour every hour like always, and then they'll have this going all day with drone footage and some different people doing this.
Correct. Awesome.
Not us. We won't be here on race day.
Yeah, big qualifying guys.
Big qualifying guys.
Big qualifying guys.
And here we go. I think this may be our last trophy truck entry, at least on our list. The number 96 at Felix.
Cool looking truck there. What great scenery there. Nice and green, plenty of water going down. Love it. Nice to see the place regrow.
All right, so we got some more times coming in here, so let me write these down. So we got Roberto Romo with a 730. So 730.380. And then Cameron Steele we have with a 717. So 717 for Cameron Steele. So that one corner didn't cost him too much probably. 717, where does that put him? Probably about maybe top 10 for sure. Maybe like 8th or something like that?
No, 8th is Tim Herbst. So
what time was he at?
7:13, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe top 10, right around 10th probably. And then we had, Eric Husted we're waiting on time for him. Let's see, Dallas Luttrell. He came in with a 744. So 744 for Dallas Luttrell. And then I will give you some more when we get them. That's all we got for right now.
This angle right here really shows that drop off there in the canyon where, you know, we were maybe looking at it from afar and, you know, wondering why guys are slowing up, but you can see now that there is a substantial drop off there to the left, to the driver's side of the vehicle, where you want to play it a little safe so you don't land yourself down there in that ditch and then cost yourself an extraction, have to get out of there.
Yeah, that would never be good, right?
No.
All right, so this should be our last trophy truck regular on course, and then we're gonna have a couple trophy truck legends.
Looks like we got a little bit of a situation here.
We were going really good.
Yeah.
Everybody had made it so far until that kind of came to a stop. Oh, they're going again. Okay.
Had to click it into high range.
Maybe they ran out of fuel when they did that 180-degree corner.
No.
I don't know.
Maybe they had it in 4 low. They put it back into 4 high.
That's probably what it was. Had to shift it back into high. Yeah.
Dang manual transfer cases.
Yep.
What are you gonna do with those things? But yeah, it looks like they're picking up the pace again, so who knows what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe the CD was skipping. They had to skip it.
And we're working on getting the top 10 leaderboard for you guys, so we'll have that in a little bit.
Oh, look at the legend.
61L.
David Payne. So there's our first legend truck off the line.
So we got 8 more cars to go on the entry list, unless somebody's going at the end. The only car we haven't seen was the one that was rolled over earlier, so potentially they could be going at the end. We will see.
There's a number 1L.
There we go.
Which would be Gustavo Senior Jr. Senior, sorry. Looking at a JR next to it. Looking at Rick Johnson next.
RJ.
Yeah.
Ricky Johnson. One of the Ricky Johnsons, one of the 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 that's in off-road racing. This is Supercross Ricky Johnson.
Yeah.
He's always very fast. And you can see they have the 1L plate. And that means they were the class champion last year. Got the red background with the white lettering. So that is your class champion. Gustavo Vidosla Sr., he's been driving with him for a while. So we'll see. This is going to be a fast time. And like we said, they're starting behind all the trophy trucks in the Legend class, but he will start on Saturday wherever he qualifies today.
Correct.
So if he qualifies 10th overall or if he qualifies 5th overall, that is going to be his starting spot on race day. So he definitely wants to go for it here and get a good starting spot. He doesn't want to be starting too far back in the pack. And that is the same truck that all these guys at the front, Paul Wheel with Toby Price, same truck, Luke, Bryce, Andy, all of them are all driving Mason all-wheel drives.
Yep.
So I think this is the only Mason all-wheel drive that's in, actually there's 2, huh? The Rolf has one also. So I think there's 2 all-wheel drives that are in the Legends class.
Well, the Clyde Stacy truck's all-wheel drive, but it's not a Mason.
It is. Very true. I forgot about that truck. It hasn't raced in a long time.
Nope.
I keep forgetting about that truck. Yeah. 2 of everything.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, that the Clyde Stacy entry, the number 5L, which will be qualified by Nick Vanderway, you'll see in a little bit here, actually has 2 engines in it.
Yeah.
2 transmissions, 2 everything. It is all-wheel drive. Very impressive feat of mechanicalness. If you ever get the opportunity to go look at that truck, definitely take your time and go look at where everything's mounted, how it's all mounted, and how it's plumbed and wired. It's just absolute insanity. It's very impressive to take a look at.
Yeah, it's definitely a work of art. If you look on YouTube, there's a build on it. I think Trophy Bro did a build on it. It's kind of cool video about it. All right, so that's one of our last trophy truck entries. That's the first Legend one, actually, Louise. And there we go. Ricky Johnson is off the line in the Gustavo Vidosla Sr. entry. So this is going to be a very fast time right here. Top 10 for sure with a clean run. Could be potentially top 5.
Yep.
We'll just have to wait and see, but definitely going to be fast.
Yeah.
And I think we have our top 10 right here. Here we go. So top 10, we have Paul Wheel, number 46, with Toby Price driving a blistering 6:43, way ahead of everybody else. Tavo Badosola, number 21, in second with a 6:51, 1 second ahead of Alan Impudia with a 6:52. Luke McMillan also with a 6:52, only 0.2 of a second between those two. Harley Lettner with a 6:57, Bryce Menzies with a 7:04. Christopher Polvardi in his spec truck with the spec truck engine, also a 7:04. Bryce Menzies had brake problems, so that's why Bryce Menzies had a little bit slower time. Had brake problems. Dan McMillan, 7:10. Tim Herbst with James Dean driving, 7:13. And then Rob McCachran, just doing what Rob does and just kind of being right there with his two-wheel drive, right? The 7:15. So top 10 for Rob McCachran so far.
Impressive stack up of race cars right there, I'll tell you what.
Definitely.
Honestly, very, very impressive.
A lot of big names there, and it's going to be a fun race. And there's going to be a change to that top 10 leaderboard with at least a couple of these cars that we still have going. Like you said, Husted, he could potentially have a top 10 time.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
very fast. The car we're seeing right here, Ricky Johnson,
will for sure
could
have a top
definitely
10.
have a top 10 time. There's a couple of these guys in the Legends class. The Clyde Stacy has Nick Vanderway driving it. That could potentially be a top 10. It hasn't been around. It hasn't been raced for a while.
Yeah.
Nick hasn't. I don't know how much he's actually driven that truck, if he's ever even driven it before.
Who knows?
So I don't know. Yeah, that's probably not going to be a top 10, but maybe. You never know.
Yeah, but I mean, Nick Vanderway, he's no stranger to off-road racing. I mean, if you remember, he's in the cow truck, which we've seen for years racing. So hopefully works. Oh, there's a huge hole right there. I never noticed
That's
that.
why everybody keeps going to the right there, huh?
Oh, I would just clear that hole.
Yeah.
Just stay on it.
So this is going to be a fast run right here, like we said. It's coming around that turn. Only a couple trucks left. Nobody's blown it yet. We'll see. Somebody's going to. Maybe not at this point. I'd probably say nobody's going to at this point. But you never know. We got a couple people left. It's never over till it's over. So once again, a good drone shot here. It's Gustavo Badosola Sr.'s truck with Ricky Johnson behind the wheel currently. Oh, that was kind of a tight corner right there, actually. Had to check up quite a bit for that one.
So I think
that might have been the corner, huh?
Yeah, I think what the drone's not showing us is how steep it is on the backside of that turn, how big of a drop-off it is.
Yes.
And how much you really do need to whoa that truck up, get it slowed up to make that corner, and then get back on the gas, or else you're going to end yourself in a bad spot.
Definitely. It's a lot steeper than what it looks like. When you're up in the air, nothing looks very big, right? Like down below you, when you're looking straight down on it, it's hard to tell. Depth perception and everything is totally different.
There's a whole lot more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Just like Transformers,
Right? So hopefully our drone shot will come back in a minute, and then we'll be back to you guys with that. But only a couple cars left, less than about 7 to go or so. Next is going to be Clay Lawrence in the 85L at the start line.
Yeah, pretty solid day of qualifying, honestly. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild.
So far?
So far. We still have a couple cars to go, but, everybody's out there running, got clean trucks. Not a lot of work for the guys to do back at the shop after or in the pits or what have you. So, I don't know. It seems like a pretty exciting race weekend for everybody.
Yeah, it's gone pretty well so far. So Clay actually went off a minute ago, so he's out on the course right now. So that means that the next one is going to be Rolf Helen in the 37L with Rick D. Johnson driving it.
The other Rick
And that's a look at Clay right there out on the course. So another Rick Johnson is going to be qualifying in a second. Different Rick. I think that's Barstow Rick that's coming up next. Rick D. Johnson. Oh, this is a look at Clay Lawrence there.
There's that edge we were just talking about. Looks like there's a little bit of a berm built up there, so that helps a tiny bit. But
and we saw Mikey Lawrence earlier. It looks, once again, the trucks look exactly the same.
Correct.
And they have the same number, actually. They're both 85, right? Just one is 85L. So that's even tougher to tell if you can only see an 85 on the side of it, which one it is.
Yeah, that makes for tough to try and keep these things straight, I'll tell you what.
Definitely. Looks like our drone is experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's been pretty good all day today, so we can't complain too much.
It's big shout out to those guys. That's a lot of work out there to keep those things up and flying. I mean, we started this broadcast at 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
8:30.
Yeah, 8:30.
We took a 1 hour break. They've been filming the entire time and getting footage for all of you guys at home and for us to pay attention to. So big shout out to those guys and big thank you to give us something to look at all day.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I got my buddy Brant down there, man, in the handy cam at the start line. He's a good dude there, good filming. So, you know, a lot goes into this. It's not just, you know, a couple guys out there off-road racing and then Fish and I sitting in a room. There's a lot of people behind the scenes making this happen. And
yeah, definitely. Big thanks to BFG, BF Goodrich Tires, for bringing this live coverage to you guys today. There goes the 85L. We've got about 6 trucks left, and then that will conclude our qualifying. Tomorrow, they will be live once again. They will have contingencies going on tomorrow.
Yep.
They'll have some interviews from down at the start-finish ramp in the middle of Ensenada, right by the convention center. If you guys want to go down to Ensenada for the day, tomorrow's the day to do it. It's always fun to go through contingency. There goes the 37L. Once again, another Mason all-wheel drive off the line. That is Rick D. Johnson, Barstow Rick, driving that one.
Yeah, that's a beautiful truck. I know you saw some pictures of it. They got it finished up earlier this year, and like every little detail of that vehicle is just perfect. Everything's coated, painted, just done just right. So
yeah, they really do a nice job on these things nowadays.
Yeah, it's very cool to see the progression of this sport and how these vehicles have progressed from, you know, garage built off-road trucks to some really fine machines.
Definitely. So once again, that it looks like Rolf there in the 37L.
Do we have any time updates?
Not yet. We're still waiting on them. Yeah, we're waiting on Eric Husted is going to be the next one that we should have coming in, which is going to be a pretty fast one.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
See how Rick D. Johnson navigates the 180 turn here. The all-wheel drive seem to take this a little bit slower, but overall quicker. They slow down, make the corner, get back on the gas. Pushed out a little bit.
Whoa, took out the tree way out there, right?
R.I.P. Bush.
That's the widest we've seen yet.
Yeah.
That's an all-wheel drive truck, too?
Yep,
Man.
Getting crazy through the section. Those holes are just getting deeper and deeper, and you got to think the ruts in that turn are probably getting rough to where it wants to hold you on the inside, but then probably opens up towards the end.
And it just pushes you straight out.
So there's a lot, you know, we can sit here and commentate as much as we want from a camera, from a drone, but there's probably so much going on that track that we're not seeing. You know, a lot of the terrain change and the rocks and just the way that the tires are making traction, and, you know, there's a lot to be untold.
All right, so next we're going to have, it's going to be Russell Bueller. Did we see him go yet? I don't think so, right?
Not yet,
79L. So 79L should be next on the line. Russell Bueller, most likely. 79L, I think, was that an orange truck?
Yep, I do believe so, yeah.
Yeah, orange truck. So we should be able to see that at some point on the drone if we don't see it at the start.
Yep.
So yeah, look at that. That's the turn, right? That's a pretty big cliff right there.
Yeah.
You do not want to end up down there.
Nope, I don't.
There we go. Orange number 79L. Is he off the line? He's pulling up to it. Maybe.
No, oh, there he goes. Sometimes you gotta
clear a little issue.
You gotta clear the carburetor.
Is it a carburetor? Yeah. You gotta clear the carburetor out to start.
Forgot to turn the sucker pump on and flooded there, sitting in the start line, waiting to go.
That was a little interesting.
Yeah. Hopefully the rest of his run goes smoother than that.
Yeah, I would hope so. Can't start out much worse.
No.
So there's a look at the Ojos Valley down in just outside of Ensenada, where this is being held at today. And Jose G put on a great qualifying course here. Super fun to watch this. Like I said, it really does. It matches what the start of the race is like. So if you're fast today, you're going to be fast off the start tomorrow. So you don't have somebody that's fast today and then they're going to stink up the trail tomorrow and get in the way of somebody that might have been faster off the start.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want, is somebody roadblocking right off the start. You know,
yeah, definitely.
Everybody else's day. But yeah, no, it's great. So far, great qualifying today. Look, the course has been awesome. Like I said, no big mishaps. Trucks are all in one piece. it's just been really exciting to watch from here back in the studio, watching all the drone footage and everything. It
definitely
makes me want to be down in there,
right?
In the race car. So.
And if you just joined us earlier, real quick, Abdali Lopez set the fast time in the trophy truck spec class. So he was first. Jason McNeil was second. Jorge Sempatero was third. Jurgensen was fourth. Hancock fifth. Sims next. And that's about your top 5 in spec truck earlier today. Right now, we're finishing up the trophy truck and the trophy truck legends qualifying. We only have about 4 more trucks to go. I think this is Jose Flores right here in the 55L. It looks like it's Jesus Flores that's actually driving, if our list is correct. So Flores entry. This is the truck that Cameron Steele's truck got into a little bit at the last race.
Oh, that's right.
At the Ojos area. So that ended Cameron's race. This is a little bit of a bummer. But this truck didn't have too much damage. It went on to finish the race, I believe. But they're back out here again, the 55L. They're actually from La Paz, I believe, down south.
Got it.
In the La Paz area.
Yeah, if you haven't seen any of those pictures, or the video itself, it's a very wild scenario that happened through there.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen again.
No.
So they should be going off the line any second now. And then after him, we have 3 more that are on the entry list. We'll see if they're all here. We got a couple classic trucks coming up, or one classic truck all the way at the end. We'll see if it's here, the 3L. We'll see if they show up.
Flores entry off the line, 55L.
All right, so only a couple more trucks counting down. So far, we have, we can probably put our top 10 graphic back up again in a second here and show you guys if you just tuned in what the trophy truck top 10 looks like. We'll get that back up for you guys in a second. And then looking at the orange truck here, this is the Bueller truck, 79L. Coming across the top of the plateau, top of the little mountain range there. Pretty cool. There we go. There's our current top 10 in the trophy truck. We have Paul Wheel, number 1, still 6:43. I don't think anybody's going to beat that time today. Ricky Johnson's time will be somewhere on this list for sure. Mark it down. He will be on this list somewhere. We don't know if he'll be top 5 or he'll be top 10 or what. But that is a look at your current top 10.
Impressive time.
Or he's right outside of it, I'm told, maybe. 7:24. So that's correct. That's a little slower than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Maybe he was taking it easy.
Do you get Husted's time yet? That's what I'm curious on.
Let's see if we can get it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we all want to know, because I think that's the only person that has the potential to bump anybody off of this list would be Husted.
That is true. So if we have a 7:24 for RJ, unofficial, of course, like we said earlier. So we'll try to get you guys Eric Husted's time. One of the other, the fast ones, like you said, could potentially be in the top 10. All right, so only a couple cars left to go around this 180-degree corner that's been a little bit tricky today. Had one rollover in this corner in the trophy truck spec class earlier today. All of the trophy trucks have been able to get through it pretty well so far.
Little hiccup here with the drone. Yeah, I think it's getting warmer down there, so a lot of the software and such probably not super stoked.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit warm outside today, huh? 2:30 down there in Ojos.
Yeah, it's getting warm.
That is the Flores truck right there, the 55L.
All right, and here's an exciting one to watch. Here's the 5L, the entry of Clyde Stacy, driven by Nick Vanderway. This here is the 2-engine truck, 4-wheel drive. Very unique build, very unique everything. It's just cool to see, a piece of art like this out racing around.
Yeah, one engine controls each set of the wheels, right? Like one engine controls the front wheels, the other engine controls the back wheels.
Exactly.
So the only thing about that is you have two of everything at the same time, right?
Yep.
So you kind of have a backup. You have a backup engine a little bit because if one goes out, you could drive the other one still, right? You might be in front-wheel drive or you might be in rear-wheel drive.
Yep.
Same with the transmissions. The only bad thing is you could potentially blow two trannies at the same time in Mexico.
Yeah.
So that would be bad.
That.
That would be a bad day.
Absolutely.
So it's a little risky in that truck.
Yep.
But other than that, it's fun. It's a cool build to see. And it's good to see it out here again. You know, it hasn't raced in a long time. And yeah, it's cool to see it back on the track.
Those are
there it
definitely,
goes.
Yeah, those are definitely some wild times, the RPM times when Clyde Stacey had, 12 trucks, it seemed, at the start line of every race.
Yeah.
Spec trucks and trophy trucks, and you had the Alpha car for a minute there.
He had everything, everybody in every car, right?
Yeah, it was very, very cool to see all that happen. So it's cool to see the RPM orange back out here on the racetrack again and see the Clyde Stacey name back on the entry list.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it does today. Like I said, Nick Vanderway is listed. Robbie Gordon was originally going to drive this truck. As of yesterday, he was supposed to still be driving this truck today, but he's a little busy with the Sand Sports Show and delivering his cars. He didn't make it down to Mexico, so it sounds like Nick's probably just going to do the whole race.
Yeah. So for everybody now, forewarning, Fish does not need a whole bunch of "Where's Robbie" in the
Please
Fish
do not
DMs.
ask where Robbie is. Every one of my updates all day, every day, because he's not going to be racing, it doesn't look like. If you want to know where he is, he's going to be at the Sand Sports Show. Go to the Sand Sports Show and go see Robbie there, and you guys can talk to him personally all day if you want.
Oh, man.
All right, so only one more after this if they line up at the start, and this is a pretty cool truck. I hope this next truck is here. I haven't seen it yet on screen, so it should be Ed Herbst in the 3L, and you know what truck the 3L is, right?
I do.
It is the Riviera truck, the old Black Diamond, one of the most iconic trucks that is still racing today that's been around for a very long time in racing. So let's see if they show up. They have quite a cool team of drivers that's going to be put together, including Mark Post, who owns the truck. He's going to be back for the Baja 1000. It's going to be obviously Ed Herbst, and then I think they have a couple other drivers that potentially will be the third driver in the truck at the Baja 1000. So that'll be cool to see. But they're not at the start yet. See, that's what I was wondering. I hadn't seen it yet.
I haven't seen
They're on the list.
You would think we would have seen something on social of the truck somewhere.
Yeah, nobody's there. See, so nobody's there. So they're on the entry list. Now, just because they're not here for qualifying doesn't mean that they might not be here tomorrow.
True.
So they are on Saturday. Tomorrow at contingency or Saturday, they could still start. So, yeah.
A cool truck like that, who needs to qualify? You should get out there, cruise around, drop the window nets, put your arm out the window, just go for a nice cruise around the Mexican desert there.
And
check out the cool stuff.
They're literally just going for a starting spot for the 1000, right? They're not going there trying to win this race. They want to race the Baja 1000 Peninsula Run backwards. That's what they're going for.
So they just want to get a good starting position and get something in there.
Exactly.
That makes total sense.
Yep.
Exciting. Well, I'm guessing if we're here and there's no trucks there,
that's probably the last truck. I'm waiting to hear in my ear here in a minute, but we got the 5 going around. But after this, I think this is going to be the last car on course, and then that is going to conclude our qualifying today.
Yeah, and so if you guys are looking for official results, they will be posted to the Score International website later today. You can check their socials, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you want to look at.
Yep.
There will be official results because, as we've stated before, Fish and I are very unofficial. So everything and anything we've said, do not take to heart because who knows how true it actually is. But yes, there will be some official results, and we'll know where everybody actually stacks up based on real time. So once again, if you just joined us, we can probably put up the top 10 for you guys one more time for the trophy trucks. This might change with a couple of these legends that we didn't get a time for yet, but this was the most recent one we had. We had Paul Wheel at the top with Toby Price driving today. So that was super cool to see. Also up there, we had Ampudia was up there. We had quite a few people. Yeah, Tavo. We had Luke McMillan. Let's see.
Here we go. Unofficial results right here. Top 10, Paul Wheel, Talvo Vidosula, Alan Ampudia, Luke McMillan, Harley Lettner, Bryce Menzies, Christopher Polvardi in a spec truck, Dan McMillan, Tim Herbst, and Rob McCachran. That is your unofficial top 10, and some of that may change with a couple of these legend cars that are coming in.
Yeah, there was a couple guys that took off that we haven't gotten times for quite yet, so that might upset this just a tiny bit, but you can almost bet that that's a pretty close accurate depiction of what the top 10 is going to look like on Saturday morning.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
well, I had a lot of fun today doing this, and thanks, Nick, for coming out and doing this with me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully we didn't screw it up too bad.
No,
we tried to get you all the information we could. We can only do what we can do here. We're not in control of everything. No. So we had times for you guys most of the time today, so that was good when we had those. So that was a plus.
Yeah.
So we won't be here on race day, but there will be streams here. You can catch me on Fishgistics like always. And then I think that about does it for today. Huh?
I think so too.
You got anything else, Nick?
No. This is great. This is fun.
All right. Well, here's a little replay as we sign off, but here's what it looked like today coming at you guys from qualifying.
You won't believe what a K&N intake will do for your truck. I thought a cold air intake would just make my truck sound better, but I installed a K&N intake. And now I can feel the power as soon as I hit the gas. It was such a simple upgrade, but it has totally transformed my truck. And now, I'll never own a truck without a K&N intake. You've got to experience it for yourself. Get one for your truck at knfilters.com.
Go further. Explore the trails less traveled. And reach your destination quicker with King's new Toyota Sequoia 2.5 OEM Performance Series kit. These 100% bolt-on kits feature front ride height adjustment, superior ride quality, and external finned reservoirs with optional wide-range compression adjusters to further refine your ride quality. See why we're the choice of experienced overlanders and order your Sequoia kit today.
Single-digit temperatures. A couple of inches of snow on the ground already. And more predicted as the day goes on. In other words, conditions are perfect for the all-new Bronco Sport.
Hey, Dad.
What are you up to, bud?
Oh, nothing much. I think it's time I bought a new lawnmower, though.
Did you try and fix it yourself? Fix it yourself? Fix it yourself?
Whoa. Don't touch. Hand me those pliers, would you?
Hold that still. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get some Fix-It fuel instead.
Fix-It fuel. Do it yourself. The easy way.
Hey, does that stuff really work?
Yep. Don't touch.
It's time for the K&N Score Baja 400, presented by VP Racing Fuels. And now, exclusive Score merch. Don't miss your chance to experience this action-packed race. Visit the official Score merch booth for exclusive t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, stickers, and more.